What's happened, you savages? It's Tuesday, the 25th of March. That's it. It's a beautiful day to be alive. There's the church, New Testament. Let's get this party started, gentlemen. What's happening, beautiful people? Uncle Joey here. It's March the 25th. Yes. Listen, I want to talk to you about something. Summertime is coming. You know what that means. It's time to head down to Pound Town. Da, 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 da. You need to be able to get that thing up there. And that's where Uncle Joey comes in. Blue Chew makes sure you're ready whenever the mood arises, whether you're on the beach, under the tunnel, wherever you're at, you're ready to go. Sign up at bluechew.com. Meet with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you get approved, forget about it. Your prescription will be there in days. Blue Chew works. They're serious. They come in little pouches. You put one in your wallet, and when you're ready for war, bam, there you are. Anyway, no more wishing, no more praying for your little fucking dick to work. Those days are over with. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. It's summertime. These women got tons of options. Tons of options. So you better show up with a cape, a helmet, and a box of Blue Chew. Now, this is what I'm going to do for the nice people. You can get Blue Chew for free for 1 month. That's right. You can try it on your own. After you try it for 1 month, you're going to go, Joey, where have you been all my life? It's that easy. First month, Blue Chew for free when you press in promo code Joey, Joey. Again, Joey, Joey. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's promo code Joey. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the show and for helping young men sling some dick in 2025. You know what I'm saying? It's the summertime. 4th of July is coming. I love you guys.
Welcome back to church!
Yo, we're back like a hemorrhoid. What's going on, guys? It's a beautiful week. It's going to be tremendous. We got a guest today, a sensational guest. His name is Myron. That's it. Straight all right? You ever see that Bullets Over Broadway? When the guy would call fucking Chaz Palmer, it's just Cheech. But Mr. Cheech, it's just Cheech. That's how it's going to be tonight. This is Myron, a dear friend, family, and as usual, our Jewish friend, Mr. fucking Lee Syed over there.
Definitely not family.
What's up, my brother?
Good to see you, dude.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I had a good weekend in Boston, did a bunch of shows.
That's what I heard.
They went awesome.
They called me from the bar. They said it was a nightmare.
Oh, the bar was...
what
the
the
late
fuck were you
show
thinking?
Saturday got canceled, so I went and did just a bar in Dorchester. And
sometimes
there's
go
no
home
Jews
and
in
hug
Dorchester.
mom. Sometimes you just got to go home and hug mom. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like it. It was fun. It's so funny. You just yell into the abyss.
You're a fucking trip. You know that?
Doing it. How was your weekend?
My weekend was peaceful. It's tough not having fucking teeth. You know, the bridge broke. You're gonna get a fucking steak. You're there chewing like a fucking, you know, it's a nightmare. You know, they can't even put them in till June or some shit.
Till June?
Yeah, because they have to dig it out and remove 2 teeth that are still good, 2 teeth that go to waste, like fucking waste. And they want like 15 grand a fucking tooth. And the insurance, they pay for like the towels and anesthesia and like a cleaning. What else? Without these teeth, how am I going to fucking survive? But anyway, what are you going to fucking do? You know, we live, we get stronger, and we get better, you bad motherfuckers. And don't forget, Friday, you can't eat meat. Lent, you know what I'm saying? Remember that. Whether you're eating that monkey, whatever you want to eat, you got to give it a pass. Nothing. Fucking, you got to sit there with the white cape on and look up at the sky and wait for Jesus to touch you. All right, that's enough of the fucking religious moment. What's going on, my brother?
Well, not much.
Great to have you here.
Thank you, brother.
The reason why I wanted to bring you in is because you have an occupation that was one of my favorite occupations of all time, which is being a police officer. You know, I wanted to be an attorney, and then I got 4 years, and that dream went out the window. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't gonna
Sometimes your dreams just go down the shitter. So it's always been fascinating to me, like from a regular North Bergen cop to a Hudson County cop to an FBI agent, and then the DEA, And I became in love with all this shit, believe it or not, when I watched the first year of Narcos.
Okay. Yeah,
I just didn't know that they were saying when the DEA started,
Right.
it was in D.C., it was a little office over a strip club that nobody even knew they fucking existed.
Right.
And they went from, just like we did,
Right.
they went from a big bus with a pound of weed with some sandals, some hippie dude, maybe he had some speed, and then they started getting kilos of coke, and then the machine guns came out, and it was so fucking surreal for them. Like, I don't watch all the bullshit stories. I'll just read. I'll just buy a book at Barnes and Nobles, and I'll just read about that whole thing. Even though you came on in 90, the shitstorm was in full fucking blast. You had the fucking New York mobsters going off. You had New Jersey mobsters going off. You had tons of drugs coming into this fucking area by the shitload. And then that's when, not really, there was still a couple Quaaludes around. I don't know what.
Yeah, I never did a Quaalude case.
Nah, you didn't need to do a Quaalude.
We did ecstasy, though. We did a lot of ecstasy.
You're in the DEA.
Drug Enforcement Administration, yes, sir.
So you were telling me you went to Fairleigh Dickinson. Run with it.
So I was in Fairleigh Dickinson. First off, I went to Woodbridge High School, so I'm a New Jersey guy. I graduated, Woodbridge High back in '83. I played basketball, and I ended up playing basketball at Fairleigh Dickinson. After a year, I said to myself, because we had to be there like a lengthy time during winter and everything, I says it wasn't for me, and I just stuck to my studies. And I was a finance major, believe it or not, and I ended up doing, what I'm about to talk about. So I went from being a finance major to basically being a law enforcement guy. I graduated in 1987 from Fairleigh Dickinson, and then shortly thereafter, I made my way to the DEA. That was, the process started, I believe, in 1990. They had a hiring freeze. So I had to wait actually started in '88, excuse me, let me set that back. I ended up getting hired in '90. There was a hiring freeze for 2 years, so I had to wait. In between then, I worked in a prison, a local, a county jail, so, yeah.
What kind of education was that in the county?
I mean, it was, I tell you what, once they lock the doors and you're in there with 150 guys and, you don't have any weapons, you don't have any clubs. And to be honest with you, maybe the guy you're working with, you have two guys in a pod, he might be like 5'6", maybe 130 pounds. And, I was pretty in shape, but, you had a lot of people in there. So you had to be on your P's and Q's. You had to, watch your back, because there was a lot of fighting going on, a lot of people getting shanked. I remember one little story, and I'll tell it quickly. This white dude came in, and off to the side, I said to him, "Watch your sneakers, because someone's going to take them." Lo and behold, about 3 hours later, I hear, "Oh, boom, boom, boom!" I go upstairs. One of the guys from the pod took a those mop ringers, and busted him over the head. And I tell you, it was the worst sight. Then when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit." You know what I mean? I really got to watch, because there was brains on tile. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but the guy was bleeding very badly. And I was like, holy shit, man.
They took his sneakers?
Excuse me?
They took his sneakers?
Yeah, they took his sneakers. They took his underwear. Yeah. But, that was my first major incident. And that happened quick. So that woke me up.
Why did you go from a finance
Yeah.
I would go to a finance major to avoid doing shit like that. And then why did you switch?
You know what? I mean, I always loved numbers. I mean, to be honest with you, growing up when I was a little kid, my mom used to play blackjack with me, poker, and I was always good in math and stuff. So I said, maybe I'll be like an investment banker. Maybe I'll be an accountant. So as it ended up, as I get out of school, I actually did pretty well in school. I graduated top 10% of my class. To make a long story short again, I got a job here in Hackensack at United Jersey Bank, which then became Summit Bank, which then became Bank of America. But I lasted like 1 year, because, I mean, the people I was hanging with, when I went to work,
right?
I mean, it's got to be fun, too. You know what I mean? You just can't go to work and like crunch numbers because you go insane.
Yeah,
So-
banks aren't that fun.
No. I mean, it's nice when you get a lollipop when you're young and you smile. If you put your $5 in the kettle.
When you saw the brains on the wall, did you at all think about going back to the bank or?
I thought about doing anything else but where I was, man. Especially because I had nothing on me. You only have your mouth and like your mouth and like just your instincts. But I did from working inside the jail, you develop a lot of instincts because you can't use anything else but like your brain.
They don't give you anything?
They don't give you a walkie-talkie. You can hit the panic button. But by the time I hit the panic button, it take about maybe 5 minutes before anybody to come in, so you're on your own.
Why don't they give you a stick? Not anything?
Because they're afraid that if they gave you any kind of weapon, that somebody would use that against you. And back in the day when I was there, and I'll tell you, it was Middlesex County. I still have, I think, 1 or 2 people still working there. I mean, there was always a lot of people in that jail. So, like, when you came into that particular location, they would put you in D-Pod. And no shit, I think it would probably house like 40 people. But what ended up happening was we had to get all mats to put on the ground because there was so many people breaking the law back then, even now too. But I think they don't allow all those people in a particular pod. But there was like 160 people with 2 officers, like checking them, So like if something went wrong, to be honest with you,
You're fucked.
I mean, you're fucked. But I used to play games in there with them. They loved me. They called me Robo because I would have like talent competitions. No shit. So what I would do is I'd give them the fucking mic, you know what I mean, the PA and shit. And some of the brothers would sing, some other people would dance, and some other people would do like some comedy and shit. And whoever did the best, you know what I mean, we'd actually like vote on it, And I would give them 2 cheeseburgers from the grill. Because I brought it in, you know what I mean, from the kitchen staff. So that was cool. It kind of gave you a little respect where they knew that, at least I was taking care of them.
Fuck.
But then again, they probably, do whatever they needed to do with me, if they needed to. So,
I always loved stand-up.
yeah.
But where it came to life was when I got locked up,
Yeah.
And you just brought up a memory, like one of the nights they showed the worst movies. It was in the cafeteria. And they showed the worst. PT 109, like those old, and this is 1988.
Yeah.
And they're showing these black and white movies. But every night, every time that a movie night, the projector broke.
Oh.
There were those old projectors,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
old porno projectors. And it would break. And I don't know what happened. I think now in my mind, I see the guard. He was a chubby dude.
Yeah.
A little tanned. He wasn't Spanish. He was something else. And he came over to me and he goes, "You love talking shit in the kitchen. Why don't you get up on stage? Why don't you get up on the table?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then I heard some of the black guys saying, "Get him up there. Get him up there."
How old were you, about?
I was 25 years old.
Yeah, see, I was there in 88 too. That's when I started.
No,
for
but that
those
was
2
in
years.
Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little different than
I was
Jersey.
in a complete
yeah.
different fucking
got you.
state. But it always stuck with me. Like, in fact, I was just talking to somebody about the confidence I got doing whatever I was doing on Wednesday nights. It was like 3 months of it.
Right.
And I was doing everything then. I was a Jamaican.
Yeah.
I was the attorney.
Right.
I was the fucking house attorney. So if you got into a beef, I went to see the little judge with you, and we cut a deal. You got to do laundry for 8 weeks. You can't eat bread, shit like that. And then I took over pretty much the entertainment.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Yeah.
We would go in, but it's really weird that I didn't forget. I knew I always did stand-up in there.
Right.
But till you said that you were the guy that did the talent contest, I was like, Jesus Christ, God bless people like you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's definite. I mean, because you get bored in there too. Because what's in there? You had like a little TV, like you said. They would do that movie night, and then chow time would come up, and everybody would go nuts because they want their Slim Jims, they want their Reese's, you know what I mean? And then the meds, all of a sudden you hear meds up. Everybody would run. Everybody was on fucking meds, So
Sure.
it's just the way it was. And yeah,
Like
I learned a
Tuesdays
lot.
and Thursday, you get commissary.
Yeah, and it came in a
people
little
go
brown
nuts.
bag. Yeah.
You take a shower and shit. You get ready for that motherfucker.
But that was problem. That was problem, like too, because then people would be fucking heisting people's shit. Give me your bag. Now I got to go over there and Most of the time, I just turn the other way and let them handle it because most of the times, what would happen, to be honest with you, they wouldn't fight because they were scared. Some of them would, though, and you knew which ones to stay away from.
I think in lower capacity, like I got 4 years, and I was in Boulder.
Yeah,
And right away they told me when I went in, they go, we got overcrowding.
yeah.
You're getting shipped to Texas or Oklahoma. And I'm like, what? And they're like, sit tight, we'll let you know. Then 3 days later, they came and got me.
Yeah.
And I go, where the fuck am I going? They go, you're going to Summit County Jail.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, Summit County? This ain't in Jersey.
I was thinking Jersey, yeah.
This is Colorado. This is a fucking ski resort.
Oh, shit.
And all of a sudden, I'm in a ski resort. And they're like, I go, where's my prison uniform? They're like, wear what the fuck you want. And it was maybe 20 people, 20 of us. But it was like 20 of us. And there were like maybe 4 guards. And I thought I was locked up. I was going to I was waiting to go to a state prison. Yeah. And like the first night, the guy comes to me and he goes, Diaz, what do you want? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, what do you want? I go, commissary? He goes, fuck commissary. We go to Safeway. They would go to Safeway.
There you go. You had it good.
Oh, my God. And they had cable TV, carpeting. Yeah. We played handball outside with whatever clothes you had. But I met an interesting dude in there that had a great story, and I read his paperwork. This motherfucker got in trouble. He got caught with 2 kilos of coke. He sold it to the FBI. Forget what his name was, New York City guy. He got in trouble, he got pinched, and part of his deal was to buy 2 kilos with these 2 undercover cops inside. Are you ready for what this motherfucker did? He got a house that he knew was already vacant. He set it up inside with a light. He went in and he dug like a little path, and he came on. He took the money, the 2 kilos of coke, and he came back to New York for like 8 years.
I mean, the guy that they wanted to...
The feds couldn't find him. They had the whole neighborhood staked out. This motherfucker slipped right through him.
It was the FBI, though, right?
It was the FBI.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the DEA.
No, they let him slip right through. He was there because they caught him 8 years later. And now he was looking at like 28 fucking years.
Oh, no.
Tremendous. This was a great program they ran up there. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. That's funny because it reminds me of something quick that I'm going to just talk about. And I won't really mention an office, but we have like 19, 20 offices. But there was an office that locked up 2 guys. And let's say this is about maybe like 12, 14 years ago. So what ended up happening was there was a big marathon that most of the agents, and there wasn't many agents in this particular group, that they went to this marathon after they locked the guy up, and they thought somebody was still with the guy taking care of him. So it was a Friday, you know what I mean? So this guy is in one of our lockups, you know, our cell blocks, because what happens is we have a holding tank, and then we'll take you, like if it was Eastern District or Southern District, we'd take you to Brooklyn or Manhattan. But this guy, for some fucking reason, they forgot that he was there. So this guy stayed in the fucking holding tank, no shit, for 3 days. And nobody was there, so he didn't eat anything, but he was drinking from the toilet bowl. So thank God that, you know, we have a toilet bowl in there. But I tell you what, I mean, a lot of you're laughing all and stuff. The guy, I think, come away with like $6 million because there was a massive lawsuit. And this is legit, you know, this is what happened.
How do you forget about somebody?
That's what we all said. But again, I won't mention the office, and it's my own people, but it did happen.
$6 million for fucking toilet water?
Yeah, I would do that too.
I'd do that too. By
Yeah,
the
I'd eat
fucking
my
barrel.
own. I might eat my own shit for
I'd
that.
bathe, yeah. Absolutely. I use it as skin cleanser.
Yeah.
Right? It might even hit. People wash themselves with their own feces. It's a hit. You know, Gloria Stefan is doing it.
How long did it take him to start drinking from the toilet?
I mean, I think the guy was a little high too. From you know,
Oh, fuck yeah, you
that
gotta
when they
be
brought
high.
him in, you know, yeah, it was a couple of kilos they got him with, but I think it was like the next day because I think he was still like yelling for people and like, you know, like nobody came. You know, he's banging from what he says on the toilet bowl is like metal, so he's banging on it. You know what I mean? Nobody's coming. They're all at a marathon. You know, they're going like in Vegas.
Right.
So, you know, I'm talking about a division that's close to Vegas, but, you know, sometimes shit happens, man, you know?
So what were your 3 first years in the DEA about?
Oh, Jesus, my first day, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I came in full of piss and vinegar. I had a nice suit on. So they said, you're going to group D22, you know? So I says, okay. So I go, I meet the guys. They're all laughing at me because I got a suit on. You know, I go, well, you know, it's the first day. He goes, take the suit off, you know? I go, okay, we're going out tonight. So I go, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, you know? And there's like 10 guys, 12 guys to a group. You know, everybody has their own car. You have your own desk. We're going to the Washington Heights, okay, where the Dominicans are. So I go, let's go, you know. So I go in the car with my senior partner, and I'm riding shotgun. He's talking to me, and we got a deal going with, we have 2 of our informants, and they're meeting with some Dominicans, and we got like transmitters going, and everything's, you know, we're watching everything. All of a sudden, the hit signal goes, you know, get out, we got to go get him, you know. So now I get out of the car with my partner, and I was in good shape because I just came to the academy, so I was one of the first ones there, and I got one of the guys that went in the bodega on the ground. Everybody else started scattering because, again, you're in the Heights. They think you're coming for everybody. You know, no shit, there was kilos coming out of the window. You know what I mean? Money and shit. And I'm in a bodega, and we're looking for 2 other guys that escaped. So I left a guy with one of our other guys, and 3 of us or 4 of us went off looking in the streets for these guys. We were going to apartments, and no shit, one of my partner, he was carrying a machine gun, and he goes, take the machine gun. And I go, what do you mean? I never was even trained on a machine gun. Even in the academy, we only shot it a couple of times. So I just threw this motherfucker on my back. And I remember when I was running, it was hitting me in the head. I was like, oh, Jesus, I had like lumps on my head. But we ended up not getting the rest of the guys. But the moral of the story, I mean, it was a fun first day. And the thing I vividly remember, so now you make the arrest, right? You go back to the office. Now they're having the new guy process them and do all that bullshit, you know, taking pictures. Now I got to stay all night with the guy. You know what I mean? And then in the morning, I got to take the guy to arraignment. So it was a long day. I think, honestly, I probably slept like 20 hours after that, you know, to get my energy back. But it was fun. And I was like, wow, this is where I want to be. You know, this is fun. I mean, you know, it's not the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It was far cry from the bank. So
what you're telling me is when you rob a bank, it's the best day of their lives.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
get some action in there.
Yeah, you got to have that. I love
They
action.
see the manager get bitch slapped. Papa, give me the safe.
Yeah. Oh.
Why does the DEA go and not the cops? Like, why are you brought in? Are they just bigger people?
I mean, it really depends on, like, you work, like, for instance, in New York. I was always in New York. I had to do a tour in D.C. When you're in New York, there's about 20 groups here, and each group specializes in possibly something. Okay. So, like, and then you make your own cases. You know, so like, you make cases based on informants. If you don't have informants, you're not going to make cases. But we did make cases, and I'll get to that later, in Brooklyn without informants, and that was difficult. But I mean, once you get your horses, your informants, they're just setting up deals, and you could do deals basically every night. I mean, you know, you really don't want to because then you're in jail. Excuse me, you're not in jail. You're in court all week long, and you got to do other things. So, I mean, it's not like we're doing bigger cases. We are. But, you know, we got to remember one thing, too, that the DEA has a lot of money. Okay. So in order to make buys, like what I'll get into later on, like if you're with NYPD, the most you're going to do a buy for is like $400 or $500. Where I was like giving like 40,000 to people.
Jesus.
You know, and letting it walk and doing it 2 or 3 times. So, I mean... You know.
How hard is it to convince someone to be an informant? Because I think I'd flip immediately. I don't think you have to ask that hard.
No disrespect. I think you'd probably flip in 2 seconds. Man.
I would offer it immediately. But some people they act like they're not going to do it. Was it hard to flip people?
Not really, because let's just take for instance, like in the Heights. When we worked the Heights, right?
Right.
We would do crack cases. Okay. So there was mandatory sentencing federal guidelines where if we got them with 50 grams of crack, you're definitely doing 10 years. That's a long tour. You know what I mean? So right. The Dominicans, to be honest with you, because they didn't speak much English back then, they didn't really know what the fuck was going on. So you'd bring them back to cell blocks, they wouldn't talk, right? And they wouldn't talk, and they just you know what I mean? And I just say, you know, my group would say, let's just take them down, we're tired. 3-4 days later, they'd be crying. You know, now all of a sudden they're speaking fucking English. You know what I mean? To the attorneys. Hey, can you get me out of here? You know what I mean? Right. I go, well, your time might be lost because, like, people know you're in jail now. But to be honest with you, I was always a decent guy when people, you know, cooperated because I feel people make mistakes. You know what I mean? And if you make a mistake, you know what I mean? Instead of doing 10 years, perhaps, with the judge's approval and some letters written to attorneys and stuff, maybe they'll do like 5 or 6, or sometimes maybe it'll do like 0, like, depending on what the circumstances are. So.
And can you stop being an informant, or are you just an informant forever now?
We let you know when you stop.
When
when you get shot in the head.
No, I mean, and you know what?
They come to the funeral. Your son was a great informant.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. He did a great job,
He did a great job. He was.
But you know what? Yeah, I mean, some people, to be honest with you, I had people that just came in that just wanted to be an informant because, let's just say you were doing a money case, okay? Meaning like, you're looking for like $1 million. You're looking to do a reverse on somebody. Instead of buying cocaine, you're saying you have cocaine or you have heroin, right? If somebody shows up, let's just say with 200,000 and stuff, okay, and we come and we lock you up, federally, I mean, it's a conspiracy. You're still going to get hit for, what you were negotiating for. But what ends up happening is we collect the money. Now, if the informant was not a defendant informant, we would put him in for 25% of that cut. So, for instance, I would cut a check, not me personally, but it would come from headquarters. Maybe 6 months later, that person might get like 60, 70,000. And let's just say you're doing $1 million. Let's say you're doing. I had informants that made more money than probably my whole group. And you know what? It was like, we'd be like, motherfucker, maybe I should just stop and become an informant, because here I am not making peanuts, but these guys are making real money, so.
I didn't know they got paid like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can put them in for 25%. And like I said, some guys would just walk in and say, hey, I know somebody who's got money, and you take it from there, and we're not going to turn them down. So, it was fun. I tell you what, it was a blast, man. I wish I was back there. I mean, still doing it, but I tell you, the commute for me, and I'm talking about silly shit now, but the commute was horrible because I live down south, you know what I mean? So every day you'd have to make that trek down. And, sometimes, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, you're looking like the fucking Holland Tunnel is jammed up. And I'm like saying to myself, what are they doing, waxing the fucking tiles again? It's like you never got home, It was hard, especially if you had kids, so.
Now, before you started making buys and all that stuff, do they actually train you?
You really can't train someone to make a buy. I mean, we had like undercover classes, which is silly, over at the academy. Most of the people, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to tap myself on the back or whatever, but for a white guy, I did a lot undercover, and I enjoyed it because I don't mind getting in front of people and talking if I don't know them. If I do know them, I don't give a shit if I make a fool out of myself, and a lot of people ask me to do undercover for their cases. So I did a lot, you know what I mean? And that was fun. That was the best part of the job for me, doing the undercover. I frankly didn't like doing surveillance because, you'd have to sit on somebody for 10 hours. You might not see shit. Maybe hear a dog barking in the place, or maybe the guy finally leaves his house, but he goes to Burger King and goes back. But you need the surveillance. You know what I mean? You gotta keep eyes on these guys to see, what they're doing, who they're meeting with. And a lot of these guys are night owls. So, a lot of times you got to stay there a long time. You just don't leave. You know what I mean? You got to leave when the boss says go. And if you had a good boss, sometimes he let you go a little early, but,
Tough to have a marriage with that job.
It was rough. I gave my wife, obviously, Denise, a lot of credit because we had 2 sons and, they were in school and she had to do everything. And, by the time I got home, I tell you, she had, food on the table, even if I came home late. So, and then the kids would be in bed. So I missed a lot of the kids, different things that they were doing with sports or with school functions, their friends. I missed all that. And that's horrible, so.
It's just crazy because for years, as George knows, I'm a Miami Vice fan.
Yeah.
Like so was everybody else my age at the time. And I remember like guys going to buy 10 kilos and not doing a line of coke.
Yeah.
Like just looking at it with a tube and give him the money. And the guy would leave. I'm like, bitch, I got to see you do something. Like that's always been my thing. Like,
yeah.
And then I got locked up and it's a federal case.
Okay.
So they arrested me for like 3 hours and they put me in a federal bin in Boulder. But I was in there with some dude who I'd never seen before. He was dressed like he was going to a Michael Jackson party. This motherfucker had like a tuxedo on. Yeah. The tuxedo was loose. like Elvis, what not Elvis, but like Tom Jones.
Yeah.
He would let the tuxedo top
What's
on.
new, pussycat?
Fucking guy was beautiful, sharp hair, moosed up. You know, you could tell he had done coke for like 4 days. And we started talking, and you know, I go, "What happened?" And he's like, "Dog, this is the wildest thing." And we just started talking. And he said that he went on a trip with a girl and another couple. And on the way back, that guy was a fucking undercover Fed.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, he was doing coke with me, line for line. And I'm like,
Nah, the guy was bullshitting, man.
but then you watch a movie like Rush.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen
Yeah,
that one,
yeah.
right?
I try not to watch too much, but I tell you what, I enjoyed Narcos and stuff like that. Because,
No, not Narcos.
Yeah,
the
no.
other movie with
yeah.
the guitar player, the crazy piano player.
Yeah.
He dated Cher, George. He was the piano player in that band that does the Allman Brothers. Did you ever
Okay.
see that movie?
I probably did, but it's not coming to me right now. You know,
It's a movie
probably,
about he's like a kingpin somewhere. But the moral of the story is Jason Patrick, Jackie Gleason's grandson,
Mm-hmm.
and a pretty girl from Fast Times.
Oh,
They
yeah.
become undercover agents, but their boss is Sam, whatever his name is, and he just tells them, you got to get high with these people. And these guys go off the fucking deep end, and then they go to a rehab. By the time they go to court, they look like, you know, Johnny Verrucci, and there's no blood test, they piss positive, they shave their hair. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, have you heard of this shit, or is this just jailhouse bullshit?
Nah, I mean, like he says, it is probably a story, but like when I was doing my things or anybody does their things, if you're dealing with like legit businessmen, because you might be thinking about maybe some mutts on the street, you know what I mean, some kids or but you know, with the DEA, most of the times what we were dealing with normally, I mean, you'd have to start low sometimes. You're talking, these are businessmen, Colombians, you know what I mean, Mexicans now, right? Whether it be the Italians. So I mean, these guys ain't really doing this shit. So like when I was posing and doing some of my things and stuff, I mean, nobody would even ask me that. And I met some pretty top heavy people. And you know what? I would just be like, if they asked me, I'd be like, get the fuck, I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? I just make money off it. I mean, you know, that's just poison, you know? So, you know, could be stories. I know, you know, with the DEA, I mean, that doesn't go down at all. But, again, it depends on who you're working. Like, you know, I would never go, although I have done this. I mean, you're not supposed to go in people's houses and stuff like that, or in apartments or nightclubs and shit. I've done that on a lot of
You
occasions.
gotta go to a nightclub.
Yeah, but they don't want you going in because then surveillance doesn't see you. I mean, I have a story. I don't even want to. I have so
Okay.
many
I mean,
friggin' stories.
I mean, like on the way home,
Yeah.
there's a club, you know, where people hang out.
Yeah.
And on the way home, before you go home, you stop and then get a drink, see what's going on in your neighborhood. I thought it was like that.
No, I'm talking about like if I'm going even to go make a buy and shit. I mean, it was times that, you know, I would go, and be honest with you, I have a drink or two before I go in and make a buy. And, you know, I'll tell you, I'll give you one quick story. I don't know how it's going to come out. My memory's a little shot, but one of the guys from DEA was working this guy. He was a Russian guy. He was a big motherfucker, about 6'5", 300. And I didn't know him from Adam, nor did the DEA agent that had the case. But apparently he killed a cop in Queens, you know. So they're like, hey, Myron, you know, I'm like, what? You think you could try to meet this guy? I'm like, do you know him? Do you have an informant? No. You have a phone number? I got a phone number. So I end up calling the guy, you know what I mean? Just out of random, just say, fuck it, let me try it. I forgot the guy's name. I believe it might have been Steve or whatever, but he was a Russian kid. He didn't speak full English. And I'm like, I call up, I go, hey man, I know you from somebody, from somewhere. And you know what I mean? I know you're over at it was the Limelight with Pete Gation and stuff. Because to be honest with you, our office was right across the street, so we would watch it a lot. And he ended up wanting to meet me based on, you know, I don't know what the fuck I said, but we ended up meeting. But again, to make a long story short, he wanted to meet in an area, maybe it was about 6 blocks away. And I got there early with my surveillance team. And I says, man, I'm here early. I'm by myself. And I'm like, you know, I'm a little nervous too, because he's a big guy. He might have killed this cop. And it was a big story back in the day. The cop in Queens they come up to the car and they pull the trigger and they put one in his head. And so I got there early and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm looking around for a bar or something, you know? So I see one and I go, I go over to the bar. Now, everyone's watching me. I didn't give a shit, my surveillance. I go to try to get in the door. The guy goes, "You can't come in here." I go, "What do you mean?" I said, "I want to get a fucking drink." He goes, "You're not allowed in here." I'm shaking my head, and I go, "Why?" I'm looking around, though, and I'm seeing something a little peculiar, you know what I mean? Because there was nothing but guys in there, So what ended up happening was, now the guy calls me and says, "Are you here?" I go, "Yeah, I'm here." He goes, "Where are you?" I go, "Well, I'm by this bar." I go, "But I can't get in." He goes, "I'm inside the bar." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Try to come in now." So I go back, they let me in. It was a gay place, you know what I mean? With all guys in there. I mean, it was crazy shit going on. I can't even recall because I was like a little nervous to meet this guy, and he was big. He met me at the door. He went to everybody, but there was guys on the bar, like, shaking, and everyone's drinking shots. They're all dancing, bumping with each other. All of a sudden, he goes, "Come on downstairs." Now, there's all marble going down these stairs, and I'm going to myself, "Motherfucker, Myron." I'm saying to myself, "You're by yourself, man." I go, "I gotta go. I'm fucking ready in here, So I follow him down there, and I stop at the end of the stairs. Now, he goes in a urinal, you know what I mean? And this guy is huge. I don't know how he got the fuck in there, because he got to squeeze in there. It was like Superman. And he's in there. Now I'm a little nervous, and I don't normally get nervous like that. He opens the door, and he goes, "Come on in." Now, we're in a gay joint, and I'm not trying to pick on it, but I'm thinking, what's this guy going to do? Is he going to do something to me in there, whatever? I'm just thinking crazy thoughts, So I go in there, and he goes, "You got the money?" I go, "Yeah, you got the money." He goes, "The stuff's underneath the toilet." I look at him, and I go, "I'm not fucking bending down to get that shit." I go, "Go get that shit and give it to me like a fucking man," you know what I mean? But he was nervous too. I was nervous. We ended up doing the deal, is the moral of the story, you know what I mean? When I came back out and I went back to the office, everybody was pissed at me because I went inside, but I did the job. But again, those are the kind of things you don't want to do, because a couple of our other agents, like namely, and I'll mention one that I had a case, was Everett Hatcher. I don't know if you all remember Everett Hatcher from Staten Island. Gus Faraci was going bananas there in Staten Island. There was a movie made about it. Actually, Tony Danza played Gus Faraci, and he was out of control, and he killed our guy, Everett Hatcher was doing undercover, and something happened. I don't want to get into it, but the guys lost him, and he ended up getting killed. And basically what happened after that, which was obviously very sad to see somebody, getting taken out like that, and that somebody could actually do something like that over drugs. But I guess Faraci was just nuts, you know what I mean? So what ended up happening for like a good 6 months after that, we rode them, all the guys, the Italian guys, every fucking family, broke down their games, did everything until somebody, came up with where this guy's at, Faraci. I don't know if you saw the movie. I mean,
There was
Tony Danza played him. I think it was Tony Danza. He plays all those movies. He was in another one of ours, that Mob Over Miami was another movie that was made about that Chris Ludwigson kid who was dating Madonna.
Yeah.
But he had issues that nobody knew. He opened up a club in Lauderdale. It was a Club Liquids. I mean, it was one of the biggest clubs.
Monday night.
Boy,
Black Cat, Pussycat.
Yeah.
On Monday night. I went there once. They gave me a cock ring. On a Monday night, I went there.
There you go.
With some people from the Improv. I was in shock. I didn't even know what a cock ring was. I ain't going to lie to nobody here. I was like 40 years old. I had no idea. That's how deep they took it. Let me tell you how hot the club was. On Monday nights, it was very tough to get a plane ticket out of Newark or LaGuardia to go to Miami. That's how hot it was.
I mean, now even today, that's hot. I mean, Miami's hotter than Vegas. I mean, it's unbelievable. But that's a whole nother
Where
story.
is Chris Ludwig now? Let's get to it. Last I heard, he had a pizza place 2 miles from me.
He might. I mean, like I said.
Yeah, he opened up 2 restaurants in L.A. again. Yeah. And let me tell you who else he dated. That if everybody forgot about.
I know who. I know Sofia Vergara.
Vergara.
Yeah, but who was also in that mix was Sandra Bernhardt. They were all, that was, back in the day, obviously Madonna was the shit, And this kid, I think, you know what? And the reason I know this, because what ended up happening was we did a lot of cases, and sometimes when you do too many of them, you give cases away. I had given that particular case away to another guy who worked it, but I still was involved with it. But he was like 23, 24 years old. He was running Miami. I mean, and he had a lot of people behind him, you know what I mean, that were mob guys. But he was a tough kid. You know what I mean? He was hurting people in his clubs. You know what I mean? If they disrespected him, and he did get a lot of respect there until what ended up happening was his history came back on him. You know, and that was he did a push-in job in Staten Island with this other
PK?
kid. What's that?
What's the kid's name he did it with?
Well,
'Cause one of those just got out.
I better tell you, I'm gonna give up names. There was one kid. I remember, there was actually all three of them were there. I think Paciello. Then he changed his name to Ludwigson because I guess he broke off from his father. I mean, he was with another kid by the name of Reynolds.
PK Reynolds or something.
It was Tommy Reynolds, and then there was somebody else. Again, I had
The
dropped
guy
that kid.
just got out of jail maybe a month ago.
But they did, a decent amount of time. And I tell you, it was horrible what these kids did. I mean, they knocked on the door because in Staten Island because they thought there was like, I think 300,000 in a fucking cereal box, whatever it may be. And the lady come to the door and her husband was behind her. And the kid Reynolds just come, boom, and shot her. Jesus, man. And so that's what came back to him, where, he would have been gold there in Miami, but he had to do his time. And I think he ended up doing 16 years maybe, or I'm not actually sure, you know what I mean? Because I didn't follow it. Again, you can't quote me on some of these things, even some of the names sometimes because it's been a little while. But, yeah.
Did anything like that happen when you were undercover? Like anyone pull a gun, anything like, and what do you do in that situation?
Well, thank God nobody ever pulled a gun, like I said, because I never would have a gun on me. Because when I worked a lot of these mob guys, and I worked some older guys from the French Connection day, and that's when I was getting giving $40,000 and letting it pass. I let it walk 3 times. That's how much the bosses loved this case because we got involved with some good people. But when I started meeting these guys, and I'll mention, and this guy he did more time in Connecticut, and I think he just got out again. After we locked him up, he got out. He just likes to be in jail, I guess. I guess he likes the commissary, you know what I mean, the Slim Jims and shit. But, I was meeting a guy by the name of Frankie Catino, and he was an old fucking guy. And I would meet him at a place called La Maganette over in the city, which was on like 53rd and 2nd Avenue. And I tell you, that was a fun case because... I'm kind of losing myself here because this case initially was handed to us through an informant from Jersey, actually, and I'll say he's dead now. Joey Eppolito was the informant, and I got to give props to my partners and the case agents on this, on all these cases I'm talking about. One is Eric Stangby, and the other one is Robert Brizzolari, who are great agents, and we did a lot of things. But I was meeting this guy at this La Maganette, and like they would pat you down right away. So if you had a gun on you and shit, you know what I mean, it wasn't working. They would pat you down for wires. And I remember I used to bring a whole wad of cash into La Maganette, and I felt like a king because, I really didn't have that money, but I was taking it from, the government, So I remember the bartender, she was a good looking girl, you know what I mean? And she liked when I come in because I'd say champagne, boom, boom, get this guy this, whatever. And I'd always give her a good tip. But that's when I first, started meeting, we called him Herbie, Frank Catino in La Maganette. And that was a big case. There's some, he was involved with the French Connection Day. You remember the French Connection? Yes. Back in the 70s where that was the boys from Pleasantville Avenue. Okay. Elvis Presley sung about that, right? What was the name of that song? The Purple Gang. You know what I mean? So that was fun because I was meeting with 3 or 4 guys at that time, and that case took about a year. And it all came from, that one informant who now, unfortunately, who ended up, to be honest with you, he was a really good guy. He just made some mistakes, and he was involved with O.J. Simpson and back in the day. That's how popular this guy was. He was a very charismatic person, and his father was big in the mob too. His father was Joey, and Joey was a big marijuana coke guy. So he's the one. I had to actually meet his brother while Joey was in jail. I met his brother in Point Pleasant for like a weekend to go over our game plan because I had to remember like all these people because I was supposed to be like Joey's like guy, now took over. So, I was spending a lot of time with them, and then they set me free, and for like a year and a half, we went up on a lot of wires. We locked up a lot of people. Again, Rob Brizzolari and the group, he did an outstanding job. And, we actually got into the heroin was coming from China. And there's a big difference between heroin. You know, there was Afghani heroin. There's all kind of crazy heroin, right? There's hillbilly heroin. But the shit from China, man, when he brought that shit to me, we always met at La Maganette. I'd say to him, hey, Herbie, I go, you got it, right? Because we'd be sitting having some pasta and shit, like on a little table outside. And I vividly remember, I could smell the heroin. That's how strong it was. And, you know, I'd give him the 40,000. He'd give me the fucking brick, and we'd go. You know, and that was that. And we did that for a year. I made 3 or 4 buys into him. So we spent alone just the money, you know, do the multiplication. 4 times 4, that's 160,000, right? But we ended up getting good players. You know, again, I can go into a lot of other names and stuff that maybe you all know or maybe you don't, but they were like, this guy was related to like captains from the Lucchese family, you know, and a lot of high level people. So, yeah.
It's crazy how many of those guys made millions of dollars
But this
selling
guy,
heroin.
yeah, but you know what? The funny fucking thing about it is this guy Herbie, he looked like, honestly, he looked like Mr. fucking Perdue. You know, he was skinny. He had no fucking hair. He hardly had a car. So, like, for instance, he had the juice enough to get the heroin, you know. But these guys like that, like, and you'll see a lot of guys, like, they don't really have the money. They're not really the businessmen, you know. So this guy would do whatever he can to, you know, to make a dollar, you know. And I don't know what his cut was. He took off the end, you know. But then again, I on another occasion, he loved the fact because I was fucking winding down. Then I bought him warm-up suits. I bought, you know what I mean? I gave him a case of fucking this. It all went together where it gave you like kind of credibility, you know. So that was fun. That was one of my, you know, I don't want to say best undercovers were, but it was like. It was like just fun to do because I didn't have to go to the office. You know, my one big boss, you know, you could wear sweats, you could wear shorts. I'd make phone calls from around my house now, you know, because they knew I was from New Jersey. So that was cool.
Did you ever have to be careful of like not going to that area of the city when you were just off? So like they wouldn't recognize you, or that wasn't something you were worried about?
I really wasn't worried about it. But one thing that happened, and it's a good thing that you brought this up because, again, my mind is all over the place. The thing that happened in this case, okay, is when this thing fucking went down, we locked up about 20-something people, okay? And what happened was the undercover's not allowed to be there for the takedown, obviously, because they don't want to see, like, oh, you know, I called myself Chuck, by the way, you know what I mean, when I was doing undercover. So what ended up happening, they did the takedown, and during the takedown, you know, afterwards, I came into cell blocks, and they were trying to figure out what the fuck happened, you know? And all of a sudden, Herbie saw me, and they overheard, like, someone saying, hey, Myron, come here. Herbie goes like this, I can't believe I got did by a fucking guy by the name of Myron. And I looked at Herbie because I had promised Herbie, I says, Herbie, you know, in a week or so, the Stones are around. I got fucking tickets. We're going to go. I says, well, you know what, fucking Herbie? You ain't going to the fucking Stones concert either. You know, so... yeah, but, you know, those were the kind of guys, like, we locked up, like, a lot of the older guys, they didn't really give a shit. They didn't mind doing time. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, like they go and play probably fucking dominoes or something. But then again, I just found out with Coutinho, I'm looking through some articles, he got out after doing 10 years with us. He went right fucking back in. Like a year later, he got caught in Connecticut. You know, he had a lot of ties to the Lucchese's in Connecticut. One of them was like this guy, Anthony Bawat. I mean, he's well known. You know, he was one of the captains and stuff. They were involved with, gas pipe. You remember gas pipe? He wanted to blow up fucking MDC. He wanted to escape there. He was going to do it. You know what I mean? So you can't make this shit up. I mean, when you're on a wiretap. And a lot of times I would be listening, like the first wire we did, which I didn't even get into. I mean, the shit that these motherfuckers say on the phone, I mean, you just got to laugh, you know, because they're saying, shh, don't talk, you know what I mean? But yet they're fucking telling you everything. Yeah. And I'm laughing. And back in the day, I mean, nowadays, the kids that, you know, and I call them kids because they are, the agents have everything computerized. Back in the day, I'd be on 4 fucking phones with our group. I'd be in a chair that had the wheels like this. I'd have to, like, one phone would be going off. Whoosh, I'd wheel over there, right down the other one's going off. Whoosh, wheel over there, you know. You'd be going nuts, you know, because they just talk so much, you know, and that's how you get them, you know. And that's how we did get him, and it was fun. We locked up 75 fucking people on that first case with me and Eric Stangby. Again, I want to mention him because, you know, he was my senior partner, and it was unbelievable. I mean, we started with a beeper. Back in the days, that's why it says we normally start with informants.
Right.
We backed out of a beeper. They were wearing beepers back then in Bay Ridge and Bensonhurst. We backed out of that, and we got 80 fucking guys, man. 80 fucking guys. It didn't stop. You know, I wanted the case to end because it was like, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. When we did the fucking takedown, this is just a little side note. I had one group, there was one guy that was doing some shit because a conspiracy in the federal system, you're still gonna do the same amount of time. But this guy was dealing low level with this crew, but he fucking lived in, no shit, he lived under Avenue U in a fucking box, like a cardboard box. And we wrote the instructions onto all the people that when you go out and do the takedown, there's like 5 guys that go do them. We said, yeah, you're going to find this fucking guy, Matt. He's going to be in this fucking cardboard box. And lo and behold, they come back to the lockups after he goes, Myron, you were fucking right. He was in the cardboard box. And, you know, here he is involved with all these other guys and, you know.
So let me ask you this, because I get mad at my friends who, like, will text about buying weed from, like, when they don't go to a dispensary, but they'll be like, hey, do you have trees tonight? Or I'm looking for...
Yeah, you ain't
Cops
nothing.
know what that means. That's they're being stupid, right? Like if they text about like buying.
I mean,
weed.
of course, but back in the day, but nowadays, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Nobody bothers with that shit. I mean, like even back in the day, like I'm being like for federally. See, we used to do a lot of the Italians on the marijuana, but we would do them on RICOs. If you all know what a RICO is, you know you have to have 2 predicate felons. So they might be doing gambling, they might be doing prostitution, they might have had a couple of murders, and we'd bang them. And that's how actually Giuliani started this shit, you know, with the RICO. So when you get them, they're doing like just about life, and you know, basically they got to flip. But nobody's bothering with that shit. I mean, it would take 1,600 pounds back in the day for me to actually have anyone do a little bit of time. But when you put that together with other charges, then it you know makes a difference.
1,600 pounds.
Yeah, that was the federal guidelines. I think for like you might get like 5 years.
5 years?
But not even that because you probably get out, you know, early. But we didn't, like I said, we did that as we did RICOs. We put that on top of other charges, you know. So,
dude, they scared us so much in school. I thought if I bought like $10 worth of weed, I was going to jail forever.
No.
Like I was scared.
Well, it's good that you were scared, to be honest with you, because you got to fear something in life.
Yeah, I
so
guess
that's
so.
good. But you know, the weed stuff. I mean, even now. I mean, everything is different now, too. So there's some jurisdictions, like I went out to L.A., and again, that goes back to the Eppolito thing, and we were doing more buys from this. It turned out to be the O.J. thing. But what ended up happening was sometimes they wouldn't even want to do the cases if you can get them 10 kilos of coke. That's how different districts work. Like Southern District and Eastern District were great. They would do whatever you wanted. But you go out to, like, when we talk about now, and I don't want to get into politics, but like California is the worst. You could do whatever the fuck you want over there, you know? So, I mean, you know, 10 kilos back in the day, they didn't even want it. But because it was a mob case and bosses called bosses, we went and me and Brizzle Airy, the guy I mentioned, we went and we bought off a couple of guys, and that was a funny story too. You know, that all came back to the OJ thing, which has been in a lot of articles that, you know, when OJ was actually driving that fucking Bronco, he was talking to Cowens, and Al Cowens called our informant because he was out, saying, how does he get out of town? You know what I mean? So a lot was spoken while he was in that Bronco, OJ. And what ended up happening was the ADA in California didn't want to use our informant. They probably thought they had enough, and like maybe he would ruin the case. But as it turns out, you know what I mean. You saw what happened. But that particular case, see, and I'm going to say it because they called OJ the snowman. Okay, because not my informant, but our informant, DEA's informant, was giving him coke. He was a big cokehead, and then in return, see, Joey Eppolito had a guy. His name was Charlie Tuna. He would run his business, and Charlie Tuna. There's a lot of Charlie Tuna. So again, but this one I remember. But he would actually go and give OJ shit on the arm. But OJ would then hook these guys up with legit customers that would want kilos in Hollywood and stuff, you know. And that's how I believe that whole thing started with OJ, you know, killing Nicole. because she was good friends with Faye Resnick. And what had ended up happening was this guy, Charlie, I think, was there that day. And he was starting shit with OJ, getting them all revved up about, hey, your girl is with this Resnick girl. They're cokeheads. They were in Mexico with some guys doing coke. And, you know, I'm just saying maybe that put him in a rage. And you know what I mean? Because then he wrote a book that if I did, you know what I mean, if I did kill her. I believe he did. But, you know, I think this also had a play in it. You know, the drugs was a big play because, I mean, to kill somebody like that, I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I couldn't hurt a fucking squirrel. I mean, if they were coming after my family, I'm going to take care of my family. But, I mean, that was a gruesome murder. So there had to be something behind that. You know what I mean? The way he was enraged. So.
Well, I heard that 2 years after that murder, the restaurant, Mezzaluna, was closed down because of they're selling fucking keys out of that.
Yeah. I mean, I know the informant that I'm talking about, Joe, he owned 2 restaurants there, and that might have been the one. It might. I'm telling you, and I think you're right.
That's where they were.
But he didn't even give a fuck about that. Like Joey, and I knew Joey, you know, well, and, you know, from just meeting with him and stuff, but in regards to, he didn't even give a fuck about his restaurant. Like, he'd have a million of these Hollywood people come in. He didn't even want to talk to him. Cause he was good like that, you know. It was nothing to him, and that's why he said fuck it. He sold that restaurant, but you know what? He ended up getting into, you know, problems. He had to face the music, right? Because he was looking to do 15 to 18 years. He fucking escaped out of jail. That's another thing, and he went back in. But then he decided to cooperate. And you know what? I like the guy, man. I mean, I spoke to him a lot. And he was, you know, even though he did what he did, I mean, he was a nice guy. And I just talked to my partner the other day, and he loved him too. Not in a way like I love, but he was a good guy. But like he said before, and he died at home, and he was able to come home 3 years. We got him out earlier, and he called my partner Brizzolari right before he died, and he thanked him. You know, like, thank you so much for giving me, you know, the time that I could spend with my family, because he had cancer, and he ended up dying, and that was more or less could have been the last person he spoke to, you know. So again, you know, I mean, these are people. Some of them are real cruel, some of them are real bad, and you know the difference. I mean, I'm sure we all know the difference, but some of them are not bad. You know, they just get caught out there doing their thing, you know. So.
Hey. It's March. I got to talk about some stuff about DraftKings and some other people.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We're going to take a 5-minute breather and we'll be back, Jack. Hey, Uncle Joey here. Listen, everybody's looking for crazy rewards. And if that's what you're looking for, DraftKings Casino is the right place. They got huge jackpots, weekly bonuses, and exclusive games. It's time to get on the action. What have you been doing all your life? Listen, I love DraftKings Casino. Why? Because I can do it anywhere. At the dentist office, in the bathroom, on a trip. Bing, bang, boom, I got my favorite game. I'm entering into my pool. I'm entering into my points. And voila, the excitement is only getting started. Because right now, new players, you ready for this? $5. And I'm going to get you 500 casino spins on a featured game. Say that again, Joey. Yep. $5, new players, don't come back at me. New players, $5, 500 casino spins on a featured game. Just sign up with code Joey Slots, JOEYSLOTS. Again, JOEYSLOTS. And wager a minimum of a fin, $5, 5 pesos, and receive 500 casino spins on a featured casino game. Who's better than you? Nobody. DraftKings, only the most rewarding place to play. DraftKings Casino, where the crown is yours. You're walking in there with a cigar, taking your Johnny Bananas, and it's you in your living room. You know what I'm saying? That's where your mind goes. DraftKings Casino.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 and over. Physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Connecticut and Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins valid for featured game only and expire in 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends 4/27/25 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, Uncle Joey here again. This episode is also brought to you by the best nicotine pouches out there. Nicked. They use the best ingredients and give you the best experience. These pouches are made with natural coconut fibers that won't cut up your gums. They have a bunch of different flavors and different strengths, so you can mix and match. These two are my favorite right here. Strawberry watermelon is tremendous, and lemon twist, I can't see without my glasses. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all their flavors are delicious. These two are my favorites. Check this out. Nick is launching a new 0 milligram option soon, helping you gradually reduce your nicotine usage at your own pace. Whether you're trying to kick chewing tobacco, traditional smoking products, or vape, Nick flavors just hit right. Listen, it's time to upgrade to Nick nicotine pouches, just like I did. Right now, church listeners, you're going to get 35% off when you order through our exclusive link at nykdpouches.com/church, CHURCH. And you can use this code up to 3 times. Who's better than Uncle Joey? Nobody. So don't wait. Get 35% off right now on nykdpouches.com/church and check out the new church bundle with some of Uncle Joey's favorite flavors. That's nykdpouches.com/church, nickedpouches.com/church. Nicked products are only for adults of legal age. So you're too young, take a hike, go drink a cup of tea. And every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical, okay? Uncle Joey loves you. Thank you for supporting our show, and thank you guys at home for watching. All right, we're back, Jack. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, wherever the fuck you are. Anyway, my man's still here. Myron, I want to ask him some questions about the Mexicans. Before I ask you a question, Myron, just to be honest with you, I'm a big book guy. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing I hated more than reading a book and 6 years later finding out they turned the book into a movie. And you go there with your dick hard and it's completely different from what you read.
Yeah.
All of a sudden there's a sister involved and she's dating the midget in the basement.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're like, where the fuck did I come from? There's only 2 books I stand behind. Silence of the Lambs is just the way it is on book, as it is in the movie.
Great movie.
And there's another one. God damn it, it was just Sleepers.
Oh, Sleepers. I didn't see that.
Sleepers.
Silence of the Lambs was a good one.
Sleepers. But those 2 books, everything else I watch, I know where I just came from. I know people's story. And next thing you know, they rewrite it. You're fucking pissed, but they throw you another $1 million to shut your fucking mouth.
Of course.
Because if not, you're not going to have dick, okay? You told that little mistress you're going to be in Hawaii with fireworks and a pineapple. That's over. That's over. So now you go, okay, add my sister and make my mother black. It doesn't make a difference anymore. And that's it. And you don't know it until he goes on a show 15 years from now. Yeah. And says, did you know my mother was white? They wanted me to do that for the script, okay? So when I watch Narcos and shit, I know it's 50-60, 40-60, I'm sorry. It's 40% correct and 60% made up for your imagination. Right. You know, I understand. But when I first saw the first season of Narcos...
Was that with Pablo?
Yeah.
Pablo,
I dove into reading. Right. I didn't watch the other stupid shit on Netflix. There's 82 shows. Netflix should just be the Pablo station. Look at it. Look at it.
To be honest with you, I watched all 82.
No, you didn't.
Just
horrible.
Recently,
Horrible.
You can tell I live a fucking boring life.
No, man, but don't get into that shit. It's just the same fucking Puerto Ricans over and over.
Yeah, it's hard to follow it too, man. You know what I mean?
It's hard. You don't know. The best 2 that I recommend is, I love Narcos until the last season. He shifted over to The Godfather of Harlem and shit the bed completely. They just got a bunch of fucking people jumping up and down. The last season is god-awful. God-awful. Because I'm telling you, as a fucking fan, you know what happens.
It peters out, man. You know what I mean? After a while. I mean,
Doesn't
it's
peter
redundant.
out. The writers get deals somewhere else. So now it's me, you, and him. We wrote it.
Yeah.
We wrote the first 9 episodes with Pablo, and we got fucking 9 more in the can. Yeah. They're going to sign us up. All of a sudden, you got a weird bug up your ass. Yeah. I want to be on, one of those fucking Lifetime shows. Yeah. Really? Really? We just fucking wrote something tremendous. They're going to double my pay, and I got 3 kids in college, Joey. Yeah. But there goes the original Jackson 5. Now we bring in 2 other guys. They don't know what the fuck. They just came from a fucking soap opera. Yeah. We're here trying to write about people getting mugged and gangsters, Lee.
Yes.
It's going to be all right. You want an Alka-Seltzer?
I do. I need
it's
one.
good.
What's
you want
some?
some?
You sick?
I got a little sniffle. I'm good. But
right.
So I read about it. I really read about it.
Yeah.
And the other show I really like is Hota Hota.
I never
Have
saw
you
that.
ever seen that show?
What's it called?
Hota Hota.
No, but I saw. What's a good one if you're talking about drugs? Because that's what I'm here for, the drugs. But the Griselda was pretty good.
Yeah, Griselda Blanco.
Yeah,
I think that
Griselda.
was,
You know what? That's actually DEA locked her up at the end.
wasn't that the guy from Miami?
But that was also tremendous bullshit. First of all, if the show was going to be real, you had to get somebody look like me to play Griselda.
Well, you know what?
That woman was ugly as dog shit.
No shit, bro. You're right. I mean, in real life,
That
when
was
you saw,
terrible.
This girl.
I love that girl. I love her. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love all her work. But that fucked up nose, she looked like a Pink Panther when he played the fucking Italian
He's
guy.
right though, man. Because honestly,
No, come
in real
on.
life, she was a dog. But they
No,
had
nobody
Sophia,
did her.
Yeah.
You did her with a blindfold on, dog. You're crazy.
But she had strength, man. She was legit. I mean, to be honest with you, they really were scared of her. She ran a fucking great organization. I mean, I wasn't around for those cases because DEA again did that. I know they picked her up at the end, but they were looking at her. She was doing shit in the Bronx, but she was legit, man. She made a lot of money. I mean, that's when, like you said, when the times were roaring in the '80s with Miami. That's when everything came out with Miami Vice, the Go Fast boats. You know what I mean? They were sending shit in planes and just dropping them in the water. I mean, there was so much money to be made.
I've never. There's only 2 changes that I ever saw that were dramatic. Mm-hmm. Before I get into it here with you,
Yeah, I'm gonna
there was
grab a
2
little.
changes. You came from Woodbridge.
Woodbridge, yeah, not Woodbridge, yeah, Bridge.
So you saw changes when you were in high school, and especially if you went outside of Woodbridge. We were raised in this fucking neighborhood,
Right.
with your wife. So we saw, and all I remember is this: we were spending $4 a night. We would do a hit of acid, split a hit of acid, and get a 6-pack from Nick's or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Nick's. That's a pizza
Nips.
joint. The liquor store in the corner or
Nips.
something like that. And then, okay, everybody got cooler. We started eating Quaaludes. Now your night went from $4 to $4. And you drank two drinks if somebody served you, and you were good to go. Then out of nowhere, people started going, "Psst, come here. Come in the bathroom. Try this Coke." And you're like, "I'm over here at Joe and Mary's on Burger Line Avenue. What am I? This ain't no discotheque." And you started, and all of a sudden everybody was cool. Everybody was doing a package between 4 people. Nobody was ODing. Nobody was jumping up and down. At 2 o'clock, people were like, "Good night, good night." There was no drama. I leave for Colorado. I come back. Oh my fucking God! People went from going home at 2 to going home the next day.
Yeah.
Like people started going out on Friday nights and not going home till Sunday afternoon at 5. Just in time for Mom's meatballs. Like nothing happened. "What's up, Mom? Where you been?" "Dog, I got to tell you what happened. I went to a concert. What happened? What happened to your head?" It was always something. And then it just went for people going out on Mondays and staying out till Thursday. And all those Tunley Avenue hotels, my friends would rent 4 fucking rooms.
Wow.
From one side to the other. The end was a jacuzzi room, and they would just go in there. From Monday, I was like, the growth of this shit.
Yeah.
When I left here, you had to really look for cocaine.
Yeah.
You had to go into the city. You had to know a cousin in Union City, something. When I came back, just on 82nd Street, there was 3 coke dealers now.
Yeah.
All you had to do is walk on Smith Avenue and, "Hey, did I tell you I got some coke? If you could move it for me." You're like, "Dog, you went to Catholic school. I knew you as a kid. You never even had a beer. Now you're dealing coke." So the explosion.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a money game. All of it. It all goes. It's all cyclical. Look how long. I mean, Coke is making a comeback. You know what I mean? And
It
crack.
never went away.
Yeah. No, I know.
It
But
never went away.
no,
What
I know.
fucking
But I mean,
comeback?
everybody, come on. All these kids with the fentanyl and the heroin and stuff like that. I mean, that's been big, and that's why we're losing. All these kids to really the fentanyl. Which. It's a shame because some of these kids might try it one time and it's just unlucky, and you get a couple of little pieces of fentanyl on you, and if it's the bad type, you're gonna die. And we changed all our rules too with the fentanyl. Once I left and stuff, we had a whole new lab area where if you did think that you got something related to it, you would have to have special gloves on. It'd be a special room, with all kind of special filtration systems in there. So the game has changed, but it's horrible how these young kids today in their 20s, even older people, are still doing this stuff, and it's sad. It really is truly sad because life is precious.
Myron, it's never fucking changed.
Yeah.
Since 1980.
Yeah.
This has been a revolving door. I'm very fortunate to still be here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going over to Harlem. I enjoyed it. It was just it was who I was for a long time. But listen, when we were growing up, people were dying too.
Yeah.
They were fucking going into the city, whatever. And now I wouldn't try anything out in the street. Not even, dog, when I left California, you could already tell there was an issue at a marijuana dispensary where when you ate this guy's cookies, you didn't get high. You saw fucking Pluto. And for me to see Pluto, there's got to be something in that cookie.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Then there was
I
a
need
rule-
one of them cookies now.
No.
Put
Oh,
me to sleep. Like
I ate one of those cookies on a flight to Pittsburgh. My leg wouldn't stop twitching.
Oh.
I was sweating profusely, and my leg it was horrible. Anyway,
yeah.
fuck that edible.
No.
So what I'm saying to you is that they're putting edible out of that in Mexico.
Yeah.
Because you could. God bless New Jersey. A lot of people are going to hate me for this. Because I came here and I was withdrawn on Xanax. And I thought I was going to walk into a doctor and
And
go,
get a
hey,
script, yeah.
let me get a script. The guy's like,
No, they don't prescribe that shit.
we
man.
don't give you that shit at all here. And then I had the knee surgery. And it was tough to get pain pills. Like, tough. Like, come on. I just had to. Well, we don't know. We got to contact the doctor. And he's got to contact CVS. And CVS has to call DC and see if you're on the list. And you're like, what the fuck? And then somebody told me that next time get surgery and go to Staten Island because they just go nuts out there.
Yeah,
They don't give you 28 pills. They give you 90 still.
Yeah,
Bam!
we had a group that actually just dealt with that. It was called our diversion group. So
Yeah.
if you get a script, that third copy, I believe it's pink, that goes to the DEA, and they can tell by and not that I did, I wasn't in this group, but the pharmacists, the doctors, they were locking them up left and right because, and the pharmacists, they were getting like $500,000 cash out of their fucking apartments because that's how lucrative the business was with like you said, whether it be oxys, whether it be Xanax or Dilaudid, all these things. So it's a big business.
Well, I saw some documentaries that like people who got addicted to the pills would switch to heroin because it was cheaper, which is
it's
crazy
true.
to me.
No, it is cheaper. It is.
That heroin is cheaper than a pill.
Of
Remember
course.
remember when we did heroin, Lee?
I don't know if we did heroin. When did we do heroin?
Don't worry. I got the date. I got the episode.
I can't. I can't see him doing heroin.
No, I did. I
It's
did more
just-
than you would think. But
Just
Let me-
his little marijuana joint, man.
let me ask you this, because I just moved to New York in September, and I had one guy ask me if I wanted party supplies, but other than that, that's it.
What, like paper plates and fucking?
Who knows?
and fucking, yeah.
But like, how much on a daily basis?
Yeah.
How much shit is going on in like plain sight in New York?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be New York. It's all over. I mean, like you said, I mean, even with the marijuana, the dispensaries, I mean, I got places in town where I live. You go in there and get what you want. The other stuff, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I haven't been in a big city since I've been retired. I hate to say that. I have no interest in going back to New York, man. And again, that's just me because, to be honest with you, man, I had enough of it. You know, I'm living in a small town now, and you know, by the beach somewhere, and it gets boring. But you know, some of these big cities and the people around them, whether they're doing drugs or it's something else, they're fucking nuts. People are nuts today. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, there's different cultures out there, right? They're coming from different countries. You see what's going on. I mean, actually, a guy I work with who's now in the head of the DEA, and I'll mention his name, Derek Maltz. You know, he's on TV all the time, and he's out there in Colorado sending all these guys back to Venezuela and doing all these cases and stuff, you know. But, I mean, I'll be honest with you, those are some dangerous people. I mean, you know, we could laugh in here and be like, you know, but they'll do whatever, you know. They'll do whatever, these people, because they don't give a fuck, you know? Yeah.
How we get to the fucking Venezuelans?
I don't know. I don't know how we got there. Because what they're doing is they had that one gang from Venezuela. Now, that was causing, you know, they want to start shipping these guys out, obviously. You know, right. We got a new guy in there, Trump, and he's saying, hey, you know, you got to be legal to be here. And they're going after the people they're causing, you know, havoc, that are dealing drugs, that have records and stuff. And they're easy to find, you know what I mean? Because they let you know where they're at. They're that dumb, you know? So.
But it's crazy how the Pablo Escobar stuff was good to me.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed it as entertainment. The one that really got to me was when the Mexicans started selling the weed, and then in the middle they go, "Fuck you, let's put some cocaine in
I know
this bitch."
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I went and read up on the people, and you know, I was blown the fuck away with the money they were making, and they got into, and they made a big mistake when they killed, rest in peace.
Yeah, our guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Kiki Camarena.
Kiki Camarena. That's a matter of fact. Recently, he was just in the news. You know,
right, 2 weeks ago. Something.
What had ended up happening was they got one of his torturers, and again, the name escapes me.
Miguel. Miguel.
And when they brought him to arraignments, you know, they put Kiki Camarini's cuffs on him, which, you know, I mean, you know, okay, you know what I mean. It's sad that we lost the agent. It was a while ago, but. They got him, you know what I mean? And that was a great thing. And it, you know, at least gives the people, you know, from DEA anyway to say, hey, listen, we got you guys. And Kiki's cuffs are on you. And now you're going to do your time, probably rot in jail, you know, which is a good thing. But Mexico's a whole nother story, man. You know, like Mexico, you know, like they kicked us out of the country for like a year or so because, I mean, it's so crooked. You know, even like when I used to, back in the day, go to Cancun, Acapulco, I did a lot of fucked up things when I went on vacation, you know what I mean? I mean, Johnny's over here too. I mean, he remembers a couple of stories we did. But I tell you, man, you go out there. I remember I went to this place, they said, I was all fucked up, you know, drinking beers all night. I was with a guy by the name of Pete. Make a long story short, I go, I want to go to like a go-go joint, you know? I was sick of seeing all these young kids, whatever. I was only 24. And I get in a taxi, and they go, Chili Willy's, you know what I mean? And I go, yeah, let's go to fucking Chili Willy's, you know? I get into a taxi, me and Pete, and I'm bombed, man, and I'm drinking beer in the taxi, and I'm whipping beer bottles out of the fucking taxi. That was stupid, you know? We ended up getting a Chili Willy's. I go to the front door, and there's two fucking big Mexican guys, but they were carrying machine guns, and they had the fucking bandolier, you know, the bullets all over here. I looked at Pete, and, you know, I kind of sobered up a little bit, and I'm like, hey, you want to go in here? Fuck it, we're here. We go in. It was the nastiest fucking bar. They had girls up there. They were nastier than that girl, Griselda, you know what I mean? Griselda face and shit. And I remember I had to take a shit so bad because I was drinking that Mexican beer. I went in the bathroom, and there was no like doors or anything, you know, just a fucking like, I don't know, something you shit in. I don't even know what you call it. I fucking just lowered my ass over the bowl. You know what I mean? I let it explode because I don't even think there was toilet paper there. I don't know what the fuck I did. But I know when I got out of that fucking bathroom, I says, Pete, he goes, what? It's time to fucking go. You know what I mean? And I look back at that day and I say to myself, man, that was stupid. Because normally what the cops will do, they see younger kids and whatnot. And it happened to some of my family members. They'll pull you over and they'll want whatever's in your pocket, $300, $400, $500, you know. Getting back to it, they don't make no money there. You know that. And that's why they don't make no money. That's why they were all crooked. You know, even during, you know, with Pablo, he bought whatever he wanted to buy. He owned it. He was the man. He owned everything. You saw the movie. That's legit.
No, but I read up on that.
No, but
shit.
some of the shit they showed in the movie was a little like I'll even say so. Like with the DEA guys, they weren't doing all that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
you know what I mean? I mean, but they were there and they did a very good job.
I forget what the bottom line was.
Yeah.
The bottom line was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was an amount that you could not even fathom coming into your home every fucking week. And the more money he made, the more he paid out. He took care. He did what the fuck he wanted to. I remember I was reading something online about him one night that I was just blown the fuck away.
Yeah.
Just the thing that he built his own prison.
Oh, that happened, man.
That
That's
happened.
legit.
I was just starting comedy in '91, and I remember it would come up on the news that they're building the prison for this fucking guy. And I remember like even writing a joke. I didn't even know who the fucking guy was. I wrote like some
Pablo was
stupid
big.
joke and bombed. Yeah, like he opened up a hotel,
Yeah.
and it was funny because Boulder, where I was, the county jail was voted the #2 county jail in the country. It was clean, sanitized.
Yeah.
They gave you cigarettes. They had cable TV.
Wasn't like Chili Willy's, man.
No,
No,
it
that
was
was a
not like
hole,
Chili
man. I still
Willy's.
remember that.
But I'm going to tell you just in perspective, I'm a fucking nut, okay? And when you add an addiction to a nut, it's never good. And I'm going to be honest with you motherfuckers, and you can either believe me or not. I worked El Paso as a comic. The first night they came to me and they said, we're going to Mexico. You coming? I was a little apprehensive. And I went in the daytime,
Yeah.
and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
And then I worked San Diego one time, and I went to that side of Mexico, and that was okay for about an hour at night. And I'm like, it's time to go.
Yeah,
and I like
man.
crazy shit. I'm all in. I'm all in for yells in the night and people screaming, but that was just a little too out there for Uncle Joey. And I just came home, and then I went back down there with my wife when we were dating. A bunch of people were going to go down to Mexico. We got lost, dog. It was the worst. It cost me like $2,000 to get out of there in fucking nickels, because that's all I had. Every Mexican had nickels. I was giving out nickels like fucking, I swear to God, I just had an ashtray and the center thing, and it was all like nickels and dimes because they don't work on the fucking
And the
things
kids
in LA.
would shake you down too.
Yeah,
over
the
there.
kids shake
you
you
come out of
down.
it and they go chicle it.
Yep,
And they
chicle.
start like going like this, like they're trying to get your fucking wallet. So you got to honestly, you got to like you got to backhand them, man.
Steroids.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well, you
like,
get whatever you want at the
and I'm like,
pharmacy.
even if I buy this, how am I going to get over? That's my biggest thing. I'm not a fucking smuggler. I've never been a smuggler. I don't mind. You give me an ounce of weed, I'll take it to Jersey. That's for me. I'd rather get caught than have to be out in the street in some fucking stupid weed store. Let them roll the turbines. Go fuck yourself. It's 22%. It smells like my dog shit. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man. No, it's-
But anyway,
yeah. So
you
you're
know.
talking about Mexico. You're talking about Pablo, right?
I'm talking more about Mexico, how
Yeah.
they did it,
Yeah.
how they, went to the Colombians and said, we're going to be your transport.
Yeah.
They pretty much locked them out. It was, it was fucking brilliant. Like when
Yeah.
you look at these guys, it's a shame they became criminals.
Well, because they were in the right business to make the money, but sooner or later they were going to get caught. If they spent that energy on a fucking legit business, even to keep it to weed, you know what I mean, it wouldn't have been a problem. But getting back to Mexico again, I was a senior partner too, and I'm going to bring up another name because, he deserves it, Pete Gudowitz. He's the one that indicted El Chapo. So I was his senior partner. If you see when he comes off the plane, you'll see like two DEA guys. The taller one with the glasses is Pete. And he worked hard on that case, and that was a rough case because a lot of people had him indicted, but they always bring these people to the big house. The big house would be to New York, so they gave they arraigned him in New York. You know what I mean? So, but there was another guy. You know what I mean? El Chapo, and
That dude was like a fucking magician.
yeah,
Was he not? He was getting out of prisons with a suit on and shit.
yeah.
Like, what happened to El Chapo? We don't sorry.
Yeah, they were
Nobody
building
knew
tunnels.
nothing,
He
huh?
was the tunnel
Building
guy.
tunnels. But I did read something. This motherfucker was buying up land
Yeah,
and digging tunnels underneath from the U.S. side to the Mexico side
Well, he thought about that. That was unbelievable because
all this shit is like,
yeah.
you know, you're like, all right, I'll eat a bunch of pellets and shove the rest up my ass. Meanwhile,
Those are
this guy's
horrible,
buying a house from the other house, and it's like they dug underneath where they put roller skates on it with a fucking thing that you push. Hasta la bueno, and they push it.
Yeah.
And it gets to the other side, and that's it. You know, who thinks it was simplicity?
Well, how the fuck could you even think about a tunnel and the way they built it, even to get him out without? Well, I mean, the thing about it is they were making a lot of noise for the prison, so they were all paid off. I
Right,
mean, you
no,
can't tell me that they ain't hearing like fucking people blowing, you know, or even picking shit out. I mean,
Come on.
you know, so yeah, but you know, getting back to what you're saying, like how the Mexicans with the Colombians. I mean, back in the day when I first came on in the '80s and stuff, it was the Colombians. You know, especially in New York. You know what I mean? And that's where I was doing my stuff. But the Mexicans are a lot more powerful in regards to. I got to say, they got bigger conas, they got bigger balls. You know what I mean? So if you fucked up with the Mexicans, honestly, they were really they tortured people. Like you know. They were ruthless. You know what I mean? You had some Colombians like that, but a lot of times the Colombians would be little, no disrespect, little motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And they got their business suits on. You know what we used to do to the Colombians back in the day when I first came on? We would go to Queens, right? And they would have all payphones, and we would know what payphones they used because they had so much fucking money from Pablo and stuff. You know what I mean? And we would know they would be carrying a suitcase, so we would just randomly go up there, take their fucking suitcase, and what's in that suitcase? $2-3 million, and you know what? Once you took it from them, they just fucking ran. We let them go. You know what I mean? We just take the money, and again, it goes into a big kitty for the Department of Justice and stuff. And I never did anything fucked up. Like there are guys that did do that, but you know what I mean. And they got a lot of them got caught. But there was a lot of money, and the problem with drugs is, what do I do with this money? Where does it go? Because you guys like us and shit, I don't know what people make here or whatever, but you got a couple of dollars, you feel good about yourself. Imagine having enough money to fill up fucking 3 of these fucking places here. What are you going to do with it? What do you do with the money? You don't even know where to put it. That's why, I mean, even now, they have the Chinese laundering their money. And what the Chinese do, and you can see it, is they've been buying up a lot of real estate. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because think about us going to China and getting real estate and buying a house or something. It ain't happening. You ain't coming to China. But yet, politically here, we let everybody come here, unvetted. They come in and they're buying places with this illegal money. And
they're growing weed, brother.
Yeah.
They're buying farms.
Yeah, they're growing by
and
military.
Growing fucking weed. Like,
Yeah.
they got it down
this
to
is
a
happening.
science.
Yeah.
And nobody gives a fuck, so I'm not smoking weed no more, so you know me, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not smoking that commie weed. I like Chinese people, I'm cool, but
Yeah. I like the lunch specials, man.
it's really like that dude that they just brought back. He was one of the leaders. That's the dude that was in charge, and it's so weird looking back at it. And this was 30 years ago. This is like, you look at this shit, you go, wow. I kind of remember this. Like, I remember the bust in Stockton. That big bust in Stockton, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
And me going, somebody's getting backhanded right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking coke in that warehouse. you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to think about it like this, though. And I'll tell you, you got to remember all these products, whether it be heroin, coke, marijuana, they're all plants. So we had groups back in the day, back in the 80s, we called them Operation Snowcap. Matter of fact, we lost some guys come out of a helicopter and whatnot, and they're plants. So what happens when you fucking exterminate them? They just grow more. You know what I mean? So it's like you really can never stop it because you remember they're plants, right? I mean, you just got to find a location and whether it be coke, right? Coca paste and, however way they make it and the heroin. I mean, there's all kind of heroin, but it's always gonna be there, like you said. Like you were saying about it's going on, it went on back then too. Yeah, it did, because they're plants. They're always going to be available, and you're going to always make money. You're always going to make money on them, right? You're gonna, because we have a society that really wants this stuff. Like even alcohol, you know what I mean? I know I'm getting off tangent here a little bit, but it's the same thing. People get addicted. There's addictions, and sometimes it's hard to break,
I remember Lee asked a question before, and I'm going to answer it. Lee, one of the main reasons I left this area was because, how far are you from New York City right now?
10, 15 minutes.
I was 15 minutes away from any drug I wanted to buy. At whatever time you wanted to buy it. If you want something at 3 in the morning, you'll find it in New York City. You have to walk a few blocks. You might get mugged, but you'll find it.
That's great.
And it's, and that's the scary thing to me. That in those days, from keep going over there, you bump into more and more people. Who are you going to bump into in New York City at 3:30 in the morning? You're going to bump into a stockbroker or a fucking army recruiter?
No.
You're bumping into people trying to fucking scam people.
Yeah.
And now you're talking to people like, hey, dog, if you ever need a 45 or any guns, I got you. I'm 19 years old, and you're asking me if I want to buy a fucking gun. Now, that sits in the back of your mind. If I ever get into a beef, I'll be over the bridge getting a gun for $1.25, whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck it is. That's how accessible that city was. I can't imagine what it is today. I gotta guarantee that there's not as many spots as there were when I was growing up, but there's gotta be something happening in Washington Heights.
Oh, yeah.
And
but
there's gotta be something happening in the Bronx and all the other things. It's not as visible,
Right.
but the scary thing is downtown. Because downtown, I know a guy named Tonio. That's what he tells me his name is. He tells me to send me his driver's license as long as that's his address. From now on, I'm your delivery guy. Call me 24 hours a day. Something will be there in a half hour. I will send you a menu every day. You will not look at the prices. You're already paying $4,000 a month for rent.
Right.
You're already going dead anyway. You might as well pay the prices. He's going to have an 8-ball of Coke for you there. In 1 hour, the best shit you ever bought. That's the business. That's what I assume.
Right.
That's what I'm assuming, that there's got to be an app now. I ain't that fucking, I'm an old man, but I'm just thinking about some Chinese kid in the city that loves to jump up and down with the lights and all that stuff.
Right.
He's got an app somewhere that you buzz. This guy gets buzzed here, and every day the code changes. That's how slick these kids are today. Don't tell me.
The kids are so slick. I mean,
Slick.
But even, and it still goes on in the Heights. I mean, I remember when we first started doing the Heights, and it was just easy. We had a lot of informants there. Make a long story short, man, they had the kids working on the corners with walkie-talkies. So as soon as you came on the fucking block, they know you're 5-0. They know you're whatever. So what we used to do is get like maybe a Spanish guy. I'd be in the back of a van. He'd park the fucking van. The van might say like painting or plumber or whatever. And I'd sit in the back of the van like they wouldn't think anyone's in there. So then you could take pictures and see what's what. But the kids, even at the ages of 11, 10, you know what I mean? In the stash houses, I mean, we had special guys that used to basically know how to infiltrate any kind of special trap they might have, because it was like really fucked up, really crazy traps that these guys think of. I mean, unbelievable. You know what I mean?
I was there the summer of '93 when there were kids on the roof and a cop was walking, uniform cop, and they dropped a bucket of spackle on him.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that, and I remember it was tight. But it's interesting. In 1993, I used to go to a place, I mean, it was like stealing. You just had to get over the bridge. And you made a left, and you went right in that place, and you double parked your car. Cops would even go right past you.
Yeah.
Beep, beep. And you parked. Somebody went into the building. You rang the bell, 503, come on up. You went on up there, and there was a guy sitting there with a gun and a bag of blow. 2 bags of blow.
Yeah.
One was for 25 a gram, and one was for 35 a gram. He gave you a taste of it, and you had to make your choice. If you busted them, that's all they had on them was 2 ounces, maybe a little less at that point. They're going to be out in an hour, these guys. They already had it down to a science. Now I see these weed stores that open up in L.A., and they put their whole inventory on the wall. When the feds show up, they lose everything. And I'm like, those Colombians had a point. They only showed you what you needed to see.
Right.
You need that? Give me 10 minutes. And they make a call, and it's around the corner, hidden in somebody's fucking Corvette or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, it's difficult even for us. It was in regards to trying to find, where the stuff is. First off, everyone's a bullshitter. I mean, like I got the money. Nobody had the fucking money. You want to see the dope first. You know what I mean? Whether it be coke, heroin, or whatever. And that's the games we would play. I mean, sometimes we would flash them. I actually was giving the guy 40,000, but sometimes we would have like flash rolls. But really, like cops only flash money. You know what I mean? That's what I always say. Like, for instance, a cop will show you money, like to think he's legit. But the real fucking bad guys, if you're good, you get the shit on the arm. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like, if you got juice, you're going to give me 10 kilos, you're going to trust me. So, I mean.
Just like that.
Well, yeah, because it's not a lot of people trust anybody. I mean, even today or back in the day, I mean, I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, it was hard to do these cases. You really had to have good people that infiltrated these organizations, whether it be the Heights, whether it be the mob guys, whether it be the Mexicans. I mean, you had to have like serious guys that had connections, you know what I mean? You just can't go in there and, do whatever the fuck you want to do. No, it doesn't work like that. The people don't trust people, but money does talk. What's the old saying? Money talks, bullshit walks, man. Like I said, when I was giving them the 40 G's and it went the first time, they were like, fuck, this guy ain't no cop. And I did it 2 more times, 3 more times, right? And he ain't no cop. Until the end when motherfucker's a cop, Not only that.
You don't even figure it out so that you got the handcuffs on. And once they put you in that cell, not on the drive, but in that cell to wait your arraignment or whatever the fuck you're waiting on, you just sit there like, God damn it, I never figured it out, that motherfucker. You start thinking about shit, where you fucked up. But you were too high. You were too caught up in what you were doing. You got caught up in walking into the club and there's VIP. You just get caught up.
Yeah.
And you make dumb mistakes. I did it. That's all that happens.
Everybody does. I mean, even the best guys. I mean, we, like I says, in regards to what we locked up, people, you wait. It's like a stock, you're waiting on this fucker. You buy whatever. You buy, I don't know, Tesla and shit. You want to buy low, sell. You got to hold it. You got to wait. You got to have patience. And people fuck up. When you're on wire, sometimes you might have to be on a wire 3, 4, 5 months before they make one fuck up. That one fuck up will put you on another line, and then you're going, bro. And then you got a talker. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, holy fuck, you're meeting with the attorneys, you know what I mean? Oh, we got this amount. We're going to lock up this. We're going to seize this. We're going to take that. The game is patience, too. But everybody makes mistakes. So, I mean, in the end, like he says, people can go 15, 20 years. They got all the money in the world. And then that one day comes and you're fucked. It's like these guys now you're talking about. I mean, I know El Chapo, you know what I mean? He's done. You know what I mean? His family's done. I think his son tried to come into the business. He's done now. His wife, it's new people come on the block.
Just like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all done. You're done. You know what I mean? You had your ride. And it's over.
Didn't El Chapo get caught because he did an interview for a movie, about him? It was like something stupid.
He got caught because, there was a movie like that, but that was
Sean Penn.
Yeah, I thought, but that's whenever I watch a movie like that or hear about something like that, to think about someone building a case against you and you have no idea. For months or years, and they're building a case, and you just are going about your life as normal.
They weren't even building a case. They already had him by the balls. They were just finding that.
Well, just anybody, just like any.
They were
criminal.
just finding that motherfucker.
You know what it was. Not only it was find him, but the other thing too is do they want to give him up? Do they want to extradite him? That's the whole game. When we were playing, when we were trying to play nice with the Mexican government and stuff like that, they'll give you some things, but then they won't give you everything. Like I said, it all goes back to money. Life always goes back to money. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. These guys are making so much money off these guys. Even if you're a top politician in Mexico, you get this guy's giving you $5-6 million. You're going to listen to some American DEA guy or some, you know what I mean, I don't know, cabinet member.
Who Lee Sayat is? Never heard of it.
No.
No, sorry. Anybody Lee Sayat? No. No. Trae Colombia. Bye.
Right.
They don't know nothing down there. That's why, listen, I don't have a passport. And there's times when I'm still living in L.A., people go, I get you in. And I'm like, not in a million.
Yeah.
I ain't going in there undocumented. There's no fucking way. They do some nasty shit down there. Yeah, it's cute. You get great burritos. I'm okay. I'm good. I just didn't trust it.
Yeah.
There was something about Mexico. And, dog, I was a coke fiend and didn't trust it. There's no reason to go to Mexico and get coke. Snort it, they're going to rob you. And what, are you going to bring it over that fucking bridge? Now you're going to do 55 years. Just to go. No, leave me alone. I can find it in San Diego.
How frustrating is it from like your point of like the agents, like the politics of it? Like someone gets away because of like a mistake or like, you know, like just the politics of it. Does it piss you guys off?
The politics plays a big part. It actually played a bigger part with the, and I have a lot of friends that are first grade detectives that are retired now, but the reason why they retired, probably like when I retired, is, you know, when you start locking up people and, for instance, they got 2 guns on them and then the ADA is letting them out fucking like a week later. You know, that's what hurts. You know what I mean? Because then, you know, like drugs is one thing and that kills people, but you know, guns, I mean, come on, man, you know what I mean? And you see what happens when these kids or guys go back on the street. They're doing harm. And you know what? It frustrates you, you know what I mean? Because you could take the fact that, you know, okay, I was going after this drug deal, I didn't get him. There's a lot of guys I didn't get, our group didn't get, but, you know, eventually somebody will get them. But a lot of the times they weren't really hurting anybody. There's certain ethnicities, I hate to say, but like, you know, that really will hurt you. Like the Mexicans will hurt you. You know what I mean? The Jamaicans will hurt you. You know what I mean? You know, Italian guys, they that's business to them. You know, these guys like Sammy the Bull, and you know, I know he's out doing his shows now, and you know, a lot of these guys, they were doing things to their own people. You know what I mean? And you know, you got to expect that in the game of life. You know, if you're going to hurt somebody that's a drug dealer, well, they're going to hurt you back. You know, is it fair? I don't know. I guess it is. You know, but when you start hurting innocent people and kids and bullets start flying, that's when you got to draw the line. And, you know, like what happened with our agent, you know, Hatcher, you know, this guy, you know, he was out of control, right? And he ended up killing him over what? Because he was high and, you know, he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. I mean, Faraci. And again, me and my partner, Eric Stangby, we locked up the guys that, Mario Gallo was one of them on that first case I did, and Jimmy Gallione. Now, these guys were the ones responsible for killing Gus Faraci. They killed him, you know, because of this. And when we locked them up on the drug charges, we also superseded with the murder on Faraci. So they did their time. They're out, and I think who knows where they are now. But that's the only guy. I mean, I'll say Mario Gallo was one of the guys, and it's just a name you guys don't know. But when we locked all these motherfuckers up, he was the only guy that basically said to me, "Go fuck myself." He's not cooperating. You know what I mean? And I shook his hand. And I said, like, "Wow, you know, all right, I'll leave you the fuck alone." You know what I mean? And he did his time. The other guys, no, they right away. I mean, I was moving one guy. And these guys are all over, you know, they're all in these podcasts and these YouTube shows that they got these guys hosting these shows and they're talking about mob-related things and whatnot. And I know it's sexy and people like that, but the reality of it is, man, you know, it's a dangerous game. And it's a shame that, like I said, when you're a young kid and you get involved in this shit and you're going to do 20, 25 years for what? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, jail is fucking horrible. I started as a corrections officer. It's horrible to be in jail. You know what I mean? It sucks. You know?
Nothing like a man kicking your bed and telling you to
get the fuck up, right?
You don't know what that
We're ready to eat. You know, let's go, motherfucker.
What
right?
eat? They would kick the fucking bed and tell you to get the fuck up and put the light on. And your first instinct is grab him by the neck.
Yeah.
You just got to sit there and go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You know? So that was enough for me. But I got to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't know where I would have ended up. I love smoking pot, and then the 80s came along, and I'm not going to blame the death on my mom. I have a mind, and I can make my own decisions. But I saw what drugs did. I saw people getting high and taking hits of mescaline and drinking. They were fine. And then there were the idiots up. There was always a patch in North Bergen that hid heroin, whatever. But all of a sudden I saw this community just get taken by cocaine. And that's, never mind West New York, Union City.
Right.
That was that's where they were cleaning it down there. It was just, so it's kind of weird how for fucking 50 years, right, 84? When was Reagan in?
Early 80s, yeah.
You know, his wife went on and we're going to fight the war on drugs.
Yeah.
What the fuck has happened?
It happens quick, man. You know, it gets out of control. Listen, again, it goes back to money. There's so much money to be made because there's a lot of people that are depressed out there. There's a lot of people that, you know, are just in a bad way. And, you know, for whatever reason, that might be their cup of tea, whether it's drinking, whether it's this. And, you know, you're always gonna find, it's never gonna end. But somebody's got to be there, and I'll say like the DEA, NYPD, all other cops, someone's got to be there to make them know that there are repercussions and there is a risk, you know? So you always got, you know what I mean? You just can't let, like a lot of people legalize this, legalize that. Nah, I understand the marijuana. I don't have a problem with that at all.
I do at some stages.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah.
Lee, what were we going to say?
No, I was actually going to ask about that, because there are some cities that have completely
the marijuana
decriminalized
is
it.
done. That's it. It's either legal. Who's got the nerve to take a joint off you when you're in a fucking rental car and bring in, unless you act like an asshole or have alcohol in your breath.
Right.
Then anybody would bring in. But forget about the marijuana. Look at all the synthetic stuff they're bringing in. You got meth that's making a comeback. Meth is never gone.
Yeah.
Like my buddies or whatever
Yeah, I got
in
you.
L.A., and he told me, he goes, during the pandemic, I sold a bunch of coke. When the pandemic ended, it became meth.
Yeah.
It was meth by the fucking ton. I couldn't even get it in on time.
Because they're making meth also in the Midwest with a lot of like things you can buy at the pharmacy. You know, it's like hillbilly shit. You know what I mean? They actually, there's been so many times where they're cooking, and they're blowing themselves up. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, someone opens the door and the whole meth lab explodes. I mean, you know, it's nuts. It's nuts, man.
It's just, you know, you sit here now, 30 years, and listen, I was a consumer. You know, I remember when Nancy Reagan said that, I'm like, man, you better start snorting coke.
Yeah.
Because of the war on drugs, you better get as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because it's real, cocksucker, and it never ended.
Yeah.
And then, listen, I really love smoking marijuana. I can't do it anymore.
God bless you, man.
I
you know?
enjoyed it as a kid, thinking back. It just took away that piece of anxiety.
Yeah.
Just did something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It made you feel, you turned the button a little
I
bit on
didn't
you.
like drinking. I loved that. You know, I could fall asleep at night.
Yeah.
Did I think? I always thought buying marijuana is getting your check on Friday,
Yeah, getting a bag.
stopping at the liquor store, and then stopping at Benny Blanco's house and getting an eighth for $90. and
Would you say
putting it-
Benny Blanco?
Yeah.
From the Bronx?
Yeah, and putting it in your trunk
That was a good movie.
and driving home in fear. Like that you might get pulled over. That was the whole thing. Now we walk into a store. Hi, how are you? Let me see your ID. Oh my God. Returning customer or first time?
You know what? It's fucking funny you say that because I'm not going to get into names again, but for someone's 60th birthday party, first time I ever went in as a DEA guy, I went to a town down the shore, and it's a big place. And long story short, again, I go there. I'm a little nervous. I mean, but it's like fucking legit. You can go in there. So, no, what does Myron do? He pulls in the parking lot. I'm surveilling the place. Is this legit? Who's going in there? You know what I mean? Okay. I walk in there. It's like you're at Best Buy. I go to the fucking counter. How are you? Where's your license? No problem. Now go through these other two doors. I go through these other two doors. Now I'm in a fucking assembly line. It's like the DMV. You know what I mean? And I'm behind a whole bunch of people. Then all of a sudden, guy goes like this, over here. I go, okay. I go, I'm looking to buy some, marijuana for a birthday present. You know what I mean? He goes, well, I go, I don't know what the fuck you got here. What do you think? I don't want to kill the guy and shit. He goes, well, I would try this. And I go, this is the first time I've done this. I says, I used to be a fucking DEA guy. And we used to lock people. He goes, DEA, you get 25% off. I go, holy shit. I says, nice, But it was like... I'll be honest with you, it was fucking funny because, like, wow, you know what I mean?
Thought?
What's that?
Who would have thought?
And the guy was like, it was almost like, hey, park closed, you know what I mean? Like Wally World, remember that fucking show? That one thing, it was like the guy looked just like that. I was laughing. I went home, told my wife, I said, I took care of him. I got 25% off. Yeah.
Plantopia has a drive-in. You go online, order it, and you go to the window, and you don't have to get out of your fucking car.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, and then you have to pay cash. That's the only thing they haven't. They don't have the ATM set up.
Yeah,
but
cash
they're
is
open
king,
at
man.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
For you fucking early birds.
Wow.
And for you insomniacs, they closed at 11.
Yeah.
and then midnight or 1 on the weekends. Are you fucking kidding me?
Holy shit, that's big business, man.
That means 10:30, got nothing to do. All of a sudden, 11 o'clock, The Exorcist coming on. Fuck it. I'll take a run to ShopRite, drive through the weed store. Ba, ba, da, ba.
Yeah, I still can't watch that show. That scares the shit
Which
out of me.
one? The Exorcist?
Yeah, that's one.
But meanwhile, you see a guy get hit in the head with a golf club and there's blood on the fucking wall.
No, that don't bother me. But I'm telling you what,
that don't bother me.
no, the Exorcist one that bothers me. As a
Myron,
kid, I
have you
remember.
considered writing a book? I know you're retired now, and you can't sleep, and you won't go to
that's
yoga.
the fucking problem. Did you ever think
That's
about
the
writing a
problem.
book?
You need to start writing a book.
Yeah, there's a
You're
lot
an
of little
interesting guy. Get
Well, thank
yourself
you.
a little security job where
Yeah.
you just watch a guy walk from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Listen, you're on your own. They start shooting, I don't know nothing. All right?
Well, I got to say one thing. Besides the DEA, you know what I mean. And I know Johnny. I brought a friend over here, Johnny. He could tell you stories, man. We had the best times in our lives. We always had shore houses. He still had them up until last year. He just purchased a house. But I mean, the shit we seen and the shit we did is. I mean, I could write a book about that. Never mind the fucking DEA. He could tell you stories about fucking vacations we went on that. I mean,
What did you specialize in the DEA? Like, what
mean,
division? You were everywhere.
I was
Drugs?
first. We were mob guys. We worked the mob, and did that for years. And then it was just then like a knockaround kind of group where we did whatever, which turned out to be some mob guys too. And then I ran at the end of my career. My last 5 years, I ran asset forfeiture. I had like 35 people under me. But like for instance, when we do all these cases, long story short, if we take airplanes, we take your money, we take fucking everything. We take horses, we take cars. I can go on, gold bars, coins, stocks, and they all come through me, through my group. And we were going to Brinks once a week, and I kid you not, in the 5 years I was doing it, every week there'd be at least $2 million in cash that we would have to take to the Brinks. And we'd have to have 2 or 3 guys go, so nobody could, you never know, somebody might get a tip on us and, try to fucking steal the money. You know what I mean? So I ran asset forfeiture, which was it was a slowed down pace, but it got to be too crazy. And then I said, let me pull up the stakes because of the things I said with the way just law enforcement was going. And I've been there over 30 years. So I think that was enough blood to give, you know what I mean? I could have done more, but, I was tired. Now I'm fucking tired and I can't sleep. So I might have to take you up on one of these fucking Slim Jim
these
things you
magic
got.
things? You'll be out for 2 days, happy as a pig and shit.
I tell you what, as
Your
long
wife
as somebody
will-
wakes me up every 4 hours to eat,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I gotta fucking eat.
Nah, we got one of those piss tubes
Oh.
that you take home. We'll just push you onto the mattress. And,
I like the piss tubes. Have you
Yeah.
pissed-
Oh, yeah.
I asked Johnny before. I had to take a squirt before. He had a can. Back in the day when we were on surveillance, man, we couldn't get out and piss, so we'd piss in, like bottles. I didn't piss in front of your place here if there's any cameras, but I did across the street. Right, dude?
Myron, whenever you decide to write a book,
Yeah.
let me know.
All right.
I'll hook you up with a girl that's really good.
Oh, yeah?
You got some good stories. Why fucking sit there like a
Yeah.
baboosh? Guys like you can't fucking retire.
You know what? This
I've
is
been around you for 3 hours. I'm
I-
like, this motherfucker, what retire? You still got a lot of life left to you.
Yeah, I know.
You're not
I
ready to
feel
go
it.
to South Carolina
No.
and to sit there.
Although I
and-
do like Charleston, it was nice, but yeah.
you know what? I like Hawaii too.
Yeah.
But that don't mean I'm flying there tomorrow to sit and look at a beach.
I agree- I agree with you,
We're
man.
not PI 100.
Yeah.
We're not going to move to the beach and arrest people. So
Yeah,
just-
I'm glad I got out of the house. You got me out of the
Yeah,
house.
I
I know
gotta
my
get-
wife probably said, "Hey, get this fucking
No,
guy out of
no,
here."
no.
But
I was just sitting
I'm glad
there
I
one
got out.
day, and I told Myron I wanted to get him on and talk to him about whatever, and here we are.
Yeah.
I'm not
So I'm-
blowing smoke up your ass. You're an interesting fucking
I
dude.
appreciate that.
I know you had to keep some of the names and dates, to protect
Yeah, I
the
mean,
innocent.
so like I said, my memory has to be jarred a little bit. But again, I thank you all, for inviting me. You're a good group of guys here, and I tell you what, it brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, good. I'm happy we got you out.
Thank you.
We'll
Yeah.
give you an edible on the way out, and then
Oh.
Panada.
Good.
You'll be
Yeah.
tipped
Nothing with
top fucking
caffeine
good.
in it, bro.
Listen, no Spanish people, they know how to cook.
Oh, absolutely.
You just pass the fuck out. They put Xanax or something Mexican. The Cubans put something in there.
Yeah.
You fall asleep eating the empanada.
Klonopins and fucking, right, the Valiums and...
No, they put something in their fucking food, the Cubans.
Yeah.
1 minute you're home eating empanada, next minute you wake up at 4 and Telemundo's on. You know what I'm saying? People are fucking going back and forth with maracas. You're like, what happened?
I just wanted to give one little shout out. I mean, because I was talking about a lot of these cases, and when we first started bringing the cases to Eastern District, the mob cases, it was AUSA over there by the name of Jim Walden, and Jim Walden's running for mayor now for New York as an independent, and he's a very good guy, very knowledgeable, and I wish him well, and I just wanted to throw his name out there. He's got his stuff together, and it might be a good change to get away from what New York normally elects. You know what I mean? I don't want to again get into politics, but
This show is all felons, so forget it.
oh, okay.
This is not a
Nobody's.
good vote
I mean,
for you. Know
you can't vote when you're in jail. That's
Listen,
right.
all of you are felons. Cover your ears.
You have anybody else calling in over here that are for you got any other guys, mob guys, or
Did they call in?
yeah? Oh,
I don't like people calling in.
okay.
Just random people.
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They'll sit there on the phones and
I got you.
next thing you know, they're banging on your window. I've been on the phone for an hour.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
They're probably going to have some of his empanadas if they find out how good
Yeah. And
they
then-
are and shit.
Listen, man, we saw, this is my world right now. We saw The Godfather. We saw Goodfellas. And then at the end of the day, no matter what the fuck you tell me,
Yeah.
we saw a TV series that swept America off their feet.
You talking about Miami?
What Miami? I'm talking about the fucking Sopranos.
Oh, The Sopranos.
It's-
Oh, I thought you were going back to Miami.
you
I'm
know,
sorry, brother.
For an example,
Yeah.
Miami Vice was Miami Vice. But it's like I tell people, in 97, I did a show and I had to send a resume. And the agent called me immediately and she's like, I got to talk to you. I'm like, what? She goes, you got to take North Bergen, New Jersey off your resume.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't really want people to see that.
Really?
Always go to New York City. I go, all right, put New York City down. She's going to get me a role. This is when Springsteen was out. You know, all these animals are out. The Sopranos came out. It was completely different to put New Jersey on your resume.
Oh, yeah, man. I love that show. I mean, I never missed an episode. That was amazing.
And I'm at the point in my life right now, at least I am, that I think I've seen the best of it. When people approach me for Mafia scripts now,
Yeah.
if I see Gino or Vinny,
Yeah.
the second page goes back. I'm not interested.
Yeah. I don't blame. I'll be honest. I
Just
don't blame you.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's not interesting no more.
Yeah.
Give me the Mob 2025. You got 3 black dudes now.
There ain't.
You got a Dominican.
Yeah.
80 years are in jail. The other ones are fat and old. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's kicking up to these guys.
No.
They're 80. You're done.
That
if
don't
you
work.
can't shoot nobody, you ain't good to me.
There's
Get the
nobody
fuck
there.
out. You know, I mean, give me something like that that's real.
Yeah.
So I just can't. What were we talking about? These edibles are kicking
The
in.
Sopranos.
No, you were talking about The Sopranos and how
The Sopranos was so
yeah,
good
yeah.
that what's gonna match
Replace
that now?
nothing.
What story are you gonna come at me? As a matter of fact, your boy just became councilman in the town next
I know
to
who he is.
Okay.
John. Yeah.
He just, you saw all the
Yeah,
news.
no, I know.
He's all
I
over the
know.
news. People, I
Yeah,
go
he
to
was
the-
legit too. I mean, he was
No,
a bad.
he's
you
the
know,
real deal.
You know who he was with, right?
Yeah, I go to the weed store. People are like, do you know John? He wants to meet. I don't know fucking John. I don't know no John. He's like the mayor of Englishtown now or something. That's the best weed store in town. The fucking.
Well,
place.
that's how could you believe
And
that?
I love John, and I believe John.
Yeah,
But I tell you what, there's 22 guys now running their mouths,
yeah.
and 11 of them turned evidence.
I mean,
And I'm a big fan of Sammy. Big
yeah. I
fan
mean,
of Sammy.
I seen some of his things, and listen, no disrespect towards anybody. I mean, they did their thing, but they're doing their thing now. They still want to be there. They still want to talk about it. They love it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's in
No.
them.
I stop by Sammy on Instagram every other day.
Yeah.
And he's talking to you like it's 1984. So I talked to Paul.
Yeah.
And I told Paul, and you're like, do you think these kids even have an idea what the fuck you're talking about?
No.
Try to sell anything Gotti now. You're not going to sell a ticket. People don't want to hear that shit no more. Gotti's been beat up to death. If not, just throw on Mobsters every Sunday. It's the same episode since 1998.
But back, when Sammy, let me just cut you off. Sammy, he went back after he got out. And DEA, and I know about this because I know the people that were involved with that. You know what happened to him when he went out when he was in the program, right? He went to Arizona and he got his kid involved with a lot of things, and they got locked up again with that ecstasy thing, which I never even hit on because I worked a lot of the Russian guys, and that was fucking unbelievable stories with the Russian guys and the ecstasy. But yeah, and another little thing that, perhaps if you have me on another time, maybe you don't want to hear my shit anymore, but because I'm getting very dry in the mouth right now.
Well, drink the fucking water.
No, I've been doing it, man, but I've been thinking about that, taking that edible, and that's even drying me out more. But getting back to, we were working a guy on Mob Wives. We locked up my group. I was a supervisor there, but we had locked up Renee, Graziano,
right.
And the big person in that is Hector Pagan. I mean, I don't know if you look him up. I mean, yeah, but he was with us when he was on the show, if you catch my drift. You understand? But he did his own. Then he come out, and I think Graziano Anthony, he testified against her father, who was a big weed guy over in Brooklyn. So that was very very interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you could see his shit. A couple of YouTubers did a nice little thing on him. You know what I mean? That I saw recently. It was pretty interesting because I didn't realize all the shit he did. He was actually pretty well liked, and he was with like big guys.
Who, T.G. Graziano?
No, I'm talking about
Hector?
Hector Pagan. He was good friends with Joe Massimino, who was very big, and But they all get caught. That's
He ratted at the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And he was fucking brilliant at the end.
Yeah.
Because he came out, he said, fuck these hangouts. I don't want you hanging out no more. Everybody's got to get a job. Everybody. Everybody's got to get off the corner. No more fucking jumpsuits. No more gold chains.
I have the silver, bro. There's a guy over there. There's a Sergio Tacchini.
Yeah,
that's what it was all about.
We're fucking hiding. You know what I'm saying? And he shut it down for a while. But you're always going to make big fucking mistakes with cash.
Always.
The accountants came in. The FBI forensic accountants came in. You just might as well get the fucking noose ready. When them motherfuckers come, those are the people that killed Jesus. When they show up, before those motherfuckers show up, you might as well just go, put the cuffs on. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. I'll tell you on the way there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's over. They're all nerds with glasses. They don't know nothing. They don't want to know pussy.
Yeah, when they got a fucking calculator in their fucking hand,
Trust me.
And the number 2 pencil in their ear.
Trust me. When they come, dog, Giso. They come with the chemistry set, and it's over. It's over, guys. So once the forensic accountants come, just call your mother. Tell her, listen, Ma, it's over. You gotta give back the jewelry I gave you 3 years ago, because they're coming to get that any minute now.
You're right, brother.
Man, it's a real pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I want to have you on again.
No problem. Sure. There's more stories and stuff, and maybe by that time I'll have like a book written or something,
Oh, I would love it. I'm telling you.
I mean, I got a lot of things in my mind, but I got to get them somewhere before the mind goes. You know what I mean?
And you got to run it through an attorney. You got to send it to the DEA for clearance, and that's a hand job.
Yeah. I don't know if I got to do that anymore. Because I'm retired. I don't know.
Out of
how that
respect,
works.
so they don't call you back in and bust your balls.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting. This is the most interesting thing I'm going to tell you, and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fucko was on the podcast before the pandemic. Wolf. What's his name? The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
Remember,
shit.
I gave him a
Jordan
Quaalude
Belfort.
from the fucking 80s.
Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street. That was
Jordan Belfort.
The movie.
Yeah, I understand. I know what it was.
Benicio del Toro. Well,
Yeah.
he was on the show. The real Wolf
Yeah.
came on the show. We were talking about shit. And all of a sudden he goes, I don't know if you know how I wrote my story. And I go, why? He goes, Chong was my jailmate, my cellmate.
Oh, okay.
In the federal. And he told me,
Yeah.
I was telling him stories about the stock market.
Yeah, because all the mob guys were that's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what they were
there
doing.
There was a couple of names, but what they were doing, you know what they do?
Yeah,
they push
the
certain
penny
stocks,
stock and
and these
shit.
guys don't even have licenses, and then they close it down and they short it, and that was Yeah, we were looking into a lot of those guys too.
But
I mean, yeah,
he talked them into writing a fucking book.
yeah,
And it became a fucking movie.
yeah.
That's my point.
And that's a
there.
yeah, and it
That's
was
what
a
I'm
good
saying
movie.
to you. You're sitting there bored.
Yeah.
Write a fucking movie.
Yeah,
Just to give you a heads up, he is going to take 10 points just for as the manager.
Five.
Just
He's
five?
family.
he could have more than that, man. I don't give
He's
a fuck.
family, dog. Come on.
How come you always charge me 10?
Because there's
I'll even
reasons.
throw 5%.
I gotta hold your
brother.
hand. You're gonna call me at night. Did I make the right move? I mean, yeah, I need that in my life. 2 a.m. Lee, what's up? I can't sleep. This manager's got me going crazy. I'm over here, dreaming about fucking hanging out with the DEA, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, but it was nice coming. Nice, you're a great guy. All you guys are good guys. You bought some great fucking empanadas. You got a funny fucking laugh, and you got to work on that head cold, man.
Trying.
look at him.
You take some Vicks.
got-
My mother used to put some Vicks by my
Come
nose.
back in 10 minutes. He'll be healed because
Yeah,
he got sick once I came back with
No, I didn't.
the Mac Daddy of Mac Daddies. He started getting sick last Wednesday when he saw the box. He started getting twitches and shit. He knew that Lent.
Listen,
that Lent was
what are
here.
these things here?
Do you
though?
have
What is
the-
this? Just like
This is
nicotine?
nicotine pouches. They come in 3, 6, 9, 12. Forget about it.
What do I got to put a couple of quarters in there? or
No. I'll hook you up with one on the way.
No,
out.
I'm good, man.
You put one under your chin. Forget it. You'll be fucking.
No, I can't do that.
You'll be
I'll
doing
throw up.
90 on the Parkway.
Yeah.
Hey, you got your old badge. I just put it there with a disco light. Now
I do have it.
They don't know nothing. Just put the badge up with a disco light. That's it. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody will even stop you. That's the fucking funny thing.
Johnny, you got anything to say, brother?
Oh God!
Don't get them started. Don't get them
Tell
started.
about the goat bar.
We got to get the fuck out
Oh,
of
the
here.
goat bar, but holy fuck, don't tell
No,
that.
we'll get the fuck out of here. Next time we'll talk about the goat
The goat bar is
now
in the
it's 10
Bronx.
to 8. I'm already hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm already
All right,
thinking
man.
about shit.
We out.
We out like
cutting.
fucking whatever.
Finito.
Lee, where you at this weekend?
March 29th, Broadway Comedy Club, 5:30 p.m.
Look at them.
wow.
Don't forget to be there. Austin, Moon Tower is officially sold out, but you got May 18th at the Parks motherfucking casino.
Yeah?
Right? Or August? May. We're working on May here and come out, and that's it, and that's that. I'll keep you posted. Lee, that's all you got?
That's all. I got Josh Wolf at Stanford Comedy Club in 2 weeks.
You going to
Make
Stanford?
something up, brother.
When are you going to Stanford?
Stanford, New York Comedy Club in 2
Oh,
weeks.
Stanford, New York. Okay.
Stanford, Connecticut.
I thought you were going to the old Stanford. The guy had the wig. That's a complete other story. I love you, savages. See you next week. Have a great week and get ready for April. What's happening, beautiful people? Uncle Joey here. It's March the 25th. Yes. Listen, I want to talk to you about something. Summertime is coming. You know what that means. It's time to head down to Pound Town. Da, 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 da. You need to be able to get that thing up there. And that's where Uncle Joey comes in. Blue Chew makes sure you're ready whenever the mood arises, whether you're on the beach, under the tunnel, wherever you're at, you're ready to go. Sign up at bluechew.com. Meet with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you get approved, forget about it. Your prescription will be there in days. Blue Chew works. They're serious. They come in little pouches. You put one in your wallet, and when you're ready for war, bam, there you are. Anyway, no more wishing, no more praying for your little fucking dick to work. Those days are over with. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. It's summertime. These women got tons of options. Tons of options. So you better show up with a cape, a helmet, and a box of Blue Chew. Now, this is what I'm going to do for the nice people. You can get Blue Chew for free for 1 month. That's right. You can try it on your own. After you try it for 1 month, you're going to go, Joey, where have you been all my life? It's that easy. First month, Blue Chew for free when you press in promo code Joey, Joey. Again, Joey, Joey. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's promo code Joey. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the show and for helping young men sling some dick in 2025. You know what I'm saying? It's the summertime. 4th of July is coming. I love you guys. Kick this motherfucking Neil Lee. What's happening, beautiful people? Uncle Joey and his trusted savage, Mr. Lee Boom Boom Sayat, the director from Israel. It's another new episode of the Church of What's Happening Now. New Testament coming at you. It's September the 30th. It's over. Red day tomorrow, and you're still looking at yourself thinking, what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? I know what you're going to do. Nothing. What's up, dog?
Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you. Very interesting weekend.
I know.
Very interesting all the way around. People mad about comics going to Riyadh, wherever they're going over to Saudi Arabia.
Did they call you?
Huh?
Did they call you?
Oh, every day they called me to go to Saudi. Are you fucking kidding me?
I would love to see you at that festival.
No, you wouldn't, because they have a list of rules.
What are the rules?
I don't know. You can't say much. Listen, all I learned about this was online and comics hating. You know, people hating, like, why are they going over? Listen, man, they're going to pick up an envelope.
A big one.
A big one, okay? Your butt's hurt because you're not picking up an envelope. I don't know what to tell you. Is it against American policy? I don't know. Would I go? Me? I'm scared. Because I get to Saudi Arabia and the steak don't taste like steak. I'm getting back on the plane. That's all. That's why I don't travel, because I'm scared. I already went to Jamaica one time, and on the car ride, I remember looking at the chickens, and they were skinny as fuck. And I'm like, I'm not eating that shit. And I remember going to the hotel, and everything looked bad. I was shooting a movie, and everything was inclusive.
Right.
Everything was bad. And I'm like, where else can I eat? And they're like, McDonald's. And I'm like, no, we got to go right now. We're leaving. I left. They fired me.
Dude,
They fired.
I got to be honest. They have oil money. I think the steaks are going to taste great.
Oh, no,
I think you're going to, the bacon's going to suck. There's no bacon.
Like, I saw a picture of Chappelle come in and somebody hands him something to drink. If that's a hummus shot, I got to throw it right back in their face. I can't eat that. That's against policy.
Why do they, do you really think they walk around giving people hummus shots?
I don't, listen, I don't know. I just.
They might.
It's the problem with everything now is that everybody's got a fucking opinion and everybody's got a complaint. You know, you can't go on YouTube no more. YouTube, my first page of YouTube is a fucking cry fest of who's selling out, who's woke, who's anti-woke, this comedy scene in Austin. It's and everybody's hating. Nobody's popping anybody up. Nobody's going, hey, man, this is what's going on. It's just 15 videos of fucking, you know, how everybody's doing everything wrong.
Well, it's sad, but like, you put up a video that says a comic gives love to all of his favorite comics. It'll get 6 views. Put up a video, so and so is a pedophile, or like whatever. Like, that's gonna get 8 million views. It's the way it works.
But listen, man, people say shit on YouTube that they shouldn't, because there's a lot of people overstepping their. I don't know what people call them. Young kids call it something.
Staying out of getting in your lane or something?
No, when you put a video up and it really takes you somewhere else or something.
Oh, clickbait?
Something like that. I don't even know what it means. There's a couple of those expressions.
Right.
I just thought, it's like when you see an article and it goes, UFC fighter, but they show a picture of John Jones. Gets in trouble. And then you click it and it's really some fucking white kid in Iowa that got a DUI.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, you know, that type of shit. They do a lot of that. But still, my point is, everybody's got a fucking opinion now. So everybody's going to have, and it seems like lately, in the world we live in today, people have more bad opinions than good things to say, especially on the internet. There's never, you know, and then if you do get good stuff, there's always that one guy that throws a curveball at you that you're like, where'd this come from? Like, where's this come from?
Mad about something from like years ago.
Where'd this come from? You're like, okay, they're mad at that. But, like, you know, I just learned about the Riyadh Festival.
Right.
It was funny because I saw a big agent Saturday night, and I looked at him like, how come you're not at Riyadh? He goes, I'm not going over there. He goes, why, do you want to go next year? And I was like, I don't think so. I got no passport.
That, honestly, Dude, that must have saved you so. I mean, I know it sucks you can't go to some places, but just to not even have that on your radar must be great. Because people, they've done some crazy. It's like not a good place to take money from, but that they're also giving people. Like they had that golf league that was like hundreds of millions of dollars.
They gave the guy $100 million.
The soccer guy they gave $1
And
billion
probably like nothing.
to.
500 million they gave him? Yeah, 500 million. And that's nothing for them.
Oh yeah.
That's a piggy bank. And under the fucking table, they forgot about it.
There's no budget for anything. And I'm going to be honest with you. Are Abu Dhabi, and I know you probably don't know, but is Abu Dhabi and Dubai, are these all the same places?
Dog, I got an F in geography,
No.
all right? I don't know why you're asking me this shit. No.
Because who's the one that's sponsoring the NBA? That's Saudi Arabia too, and that's Riyadh. And like they're on every NBA like every NBA floor has Saudi Arabia, and I would love to have everyone thinks they have morals, but I have to be honest. If I got offered a $200,000 check to do stand up, that's kind of hard. It's hard to turn down. I'd like to think I would.
Remember we discussed a couple months ago for weeks the moment before. Listen to this. Look up what's the guy who's dating the blonde chick from Kansas City?
Oh,
Football player, Travis Kelce.
Yep.
He got paid $10 million for an Ozempic shot. Okay. I want you guys to think about that, even at home. $10 million. You're sitting there, some guy calls you, $10 million to put your face on Ozempic. I don't know. Listen, I'm not talking about COVID vaccines. I don't want nobody to think I'm doing out misinformation. We're just talking here. We're just talking. With all the good and bad in the world that's going on with COVID and the vaccine, he took $10 million. What would you do, Lee? Now, if you were a guy that was making, $100,000 a year, that's one thing. But this guy's been getting paid, okay? And at the middle of all that, he stopped. And, some people call it selling their soul. I don't know what he's got going on. Maybe he's got a mother that's sick. I know she's not. Maybe, because that's a mom that used to go to 2 games in one day. Like she would drive and then fly. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's got a niece with autism. Maybe he's got a nephew in a wheelchair. I don't fucking know. And that's what we don't know before we fucking assume of what the fuck is going on. I mean, half of the comics on that list have more money than God.
You think so?
And so I can't imagine what they're giving them. But people have to, this is what the world we live in. People were pissed about the Haktua girl. We get pissed about anybody who, it's like that thing that they talked about in Godfather of Harlem when they started their black thing, their own black mafia. And he goes, it's like black people. And they should have said black people, because this is everybody. Once you're in a crew and the crab that's trying to get out of the bucket, they pull them down. And that's what it seems like to me on the internet these days. Like I saw something maybe 2 weeks ago about music. This is fucking Led Zeppelin. I just went to put Led Zeppelin on YouTube. And sometimes you hit the bar and it rolls up by mistake. And it rolled up and it was like, these guys suck. They wouldn't make it around today. And I'm like, why would you? That's Led Zeppelin. Even Led Zeppelin gets hate mail.
Yeah.
So if Led Zeppelin gets fucking hate mail, what does that tell you?
Hey, you should feel lucky to get hate mail.
How the fuck do you say? I mean, these guys put out 9 albums, 10 albums. I don't know how many albums they've sold. They had a song that they stole. It's controversial. They got away with it. I don't know how many kids got buried to Stairway to Heaven. From 1975 to 1990, every time you went to a wake, at least in Hudson County, they had Stairway to Heaven on.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. 1 million kids have died, and Stairway to Heaven. When my mom died, I played it. It's just a natural, stupid fucking thing you do.
Is that?
That was the #1 most requested song in the country for probably 22 or 23 years.
I get on the radio, but
#1
at a
song.
wake seems a little inappropriate.
Dog, I had motherfuckers that put Kiss on at a wake. They don't give a fuck. This is Hudson County, motherfucker.
Oh, Jews do it very differently.
Go to a Cuban wake. They got a salsa band, not a salsa album. They got 3 Cubans with conga drums, fucking, and a Moroccan, people dancing, and you're like, it's a fucking deathbed. But guess what? Not a bad idea.
No, they're having fun.
Because how sad can you be to sit there and cry when
Bongos are
half-dressed
playing?
women are playing and, people are sweating and shit?
Jeez, I hate that I'm asking you this, but I feel like you're going to have a yes. Have you started planning? Like, do you have a plan for your funeral? Like,
Yeah, I want them to burn me,
Oh, Jesus.
right, in a little box, and then we'll give out packages. I told my wife I want a little ceremony where you give out an ash to everybody, and they get to take home like a mass card, but it's a picture of my balls on the mass card. 2 fucking balls in my prime, so you'll always remember who the fuck I was.
The documentary
Not
balls
this
are
ugly
like,
face, not the no teeth, not the Trump ear, none of that shit, not my pigeon toe, not my fungi toe. You're going to go home and have to put that on your refrigerator. 2 fucking Cuban nuts with that birthmark in the middle. How you like me now? Even from the grave, I'm haunting you motherfuckers. I'm getting 1,000 of those. So they're going to be collector's items also.
that is going to be nice. Are you going to sign any?
No, I'm just going to give them out. But there's only going to be like 500 of them. It's like having a credit card from what's that restaurant that we go to in Brooklyn? What's the joint, the steakhouse, where you walk over the bridge?
Luger's, yeah.
Huh?
Peter Luger's.
Peter Luger's. You ever got a Peter Luger credit card?
I haven't been there yet.
That's when you know you're a bad motherfucker, when you
Yeah.
throw that card down and go, what?
You know, have you heard like some celebrities, they've figured out so their wives get flowers every week? I like the ball card idea, but knowing you should have you should give this company money, be like, just send them out to these lists of these addresses. Because can you imagine people getting it in the mail? A card and it's your balls 10 years
Geniusly.
just still
Or like fucking Federal Express knocking on your door
yeah.
when you're in the shower. Dun, 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 dun. Bing bong. And you open it, it's a picture of my nuts. From beyond the grave. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's genius. Bro, we should start that company. Where that was the company and things to do in Denver when you're dead. You put tapes down, and then when your grandkids grow old and they want advice from you, you go down there, you put the tapes on.
Right.
And they showed the one guy, listen, treat women like shit, like I treated your grandmother. They're all pieces. And you're fucking...
But this one is just pictures of your balls.
That's it, to everybody. Can you imagine it's your birthday and you get one of those Federal Express at your doors with my balls? Happy birthday from beyond the grave. That's the fucking card.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. That'll send you into fucking hysteria. How does he know? He's still alive. He's like that Cuban woman. He's in Cuba.
Yeah,
She finally died. The chick that shot the cop. Tupac Sands. She was
really?
hiding in Cuba.
Damn, I had no idea. She was hiding.
How long has she been hiding there? 70 fucking years. And they couldn't even go down there and get her out. What does that tell you?
That's fucked up. 70 years in Cuba.
But yeah, all those things. I don't want to plan my funeral.
No.
It's boring. It's fucking, but you want people to be alive. Like I went somewhere the other night. I went somewhere that should have been alive. I went to a comedy show and I walked in the back and it was like a Netflix shooting and it was like a fucking church. And I had 2 joints of Moon Rock in my pocket. And I took about 20 minutes of that disaster and I fucking asked one of the camera guys, I go, you got a lighter? He goes, yeah, you can't smoke in here. I go, dope. It's a fucking morgue in here. We got to set the herb man free. I just started smoking. People were looking at me like I had 3 heads. I was clapping by myself like an idiot. I took 2 of those fucking 500 milligrams, Cloud. I had 1,000 milligrams in me. I went to the first show, and then I shot over to fucking Smith & Walensky, and I devoured a split green pea soup
Nice.
with croutons in it. Then I fucking dug into the fucking the steak. I had some tuna tartare. Wasn't bad, but it's not my favorite, but it was good. I wanted the protein. You know what I'm saying? I'm out and about. I'm an old man. I need protein. And I got the fucking steak. And I smoked another Moon Rock, and I went back up there. And then things got deep, and I told the driver, let's go, motherfucker. And that was it. I was home by 11:15 Saturday night. I had to wait for Mercy. Mercy went to Great Adventure, and she got home at like midnight. I'm like, fuck, for a 12-year-old to get home at midnight? What did I do wrong? Yeah, I had to wait for her. I'm going to check her eyes, make sure she's not drinking and shit, you know.
Oh, she went with just her friends?
Yeah, like 10 of them. 10 little 8-year-olds.
Did you check her eyes?
Oh, fuck yeah. I want to see when she walks in the door. I want to see that she's not disheveled. You know, I want to make sure, because like that, if somebody does say something to me, I can go, oh, she's right. She walked in here like OJ after he killed his wife, all fucked up, eyes all over the goddamn place. Yeah, I can't have that.
Eyes like OJ.
No, you got to wait for your kid. And I have to let her know now that I'm going to be awake every time she walks in that fucking door. So I got to set a precedent today, not tomorrow, not threaten her with it. I didn't mind that she was out till midnight. Listen, what's the option? She's going to sit in that fucking room and watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine till midnight, and then come down and watch The Honeymooners till 1 with me. I'd rather her. She's only going to learn about life if I kick her out of the fucking house.
Right.
You know, to a degree. Her mother wasn't with her. Her mother had her own problems.
Was this the first
My
time
wife got her fucking teeth yanked out.
Aye.
She wasn't leaving the goddamn house at all. I had to keep bringing her back Carvel milkshakes because that's all she could eat for 2 days. She's
Did you
like,
get one for yourself?
The first day I went, I got a 12-ounce small, thin, and it's the owner, the Chinese guy. He knows how to make a shake.
Nice.
Velvet. Velvet.
See, I finally found my first thick one in the city, but I don't want to leave the mercy stuff. Was this the first time that you had to wait up for her?
I was nervous about it all night because I knew, first of all, she was punished. So when she came to me, she goes, Dad, a bunch of girls are going to go. And I go, listen, you got a fucking deferred sentence, which means if you fuck up again, I'm going to bang you out with the 2 weeks. I'm going to add another 2 weeks. And I'm going to take your phone. I'm going to jump up and down on top of it 80 times. So note, that's the fucking punishment if you fuck with me again, okay? So you could go have a good time. I offered her money. She goes, no, I got my own cash. She's out of her mind. She went down there. But when she came home, she had like a ripped shirt, like she was a spooky Halloween character. I don't, listen, I don't ask. I just look for scratches and shit. I look for the nails to see if there was blood in them, whatever the fuck. Because God knows. So I just had to, listen, I believe in that shit. I know how I grew up, and I wish there would have been somebody there most nights. They would do surprise attacks. So I would always, and in those days, you come home, you're like, fuck, I just wasted that Visine for nothing. And some CK cologne or something, because you got to put cologne on, CK, you got to think a little bit of, and you couldn't get Listerine in small bottles then. Banaka or Scope.
Right.
And I wouldn't even spit it out. I just drink it because you know it's in your fucking testicles, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but then I also, like, doesn't that also just prove you're guilty? Like, why else are you coming home smelling like mouthwash at 2 a.m?
I did always.
Oh, no, every kid does it. It's
but who the fuck knows? But you have to be prepared if they're awake.
Yeah, my eyes are just real bright right now.
Sometimes she knew I drank. So I could always blame it on, but she also knew I wasn't a drinker. She knew it from watching.
Your mom?
She's watched the refrigerator. There's no beers missing in my house. There's no alcohol missing. Every once in a while, somebody come over and I go, you want to pour some out and pour water in it or something? You know.
Right.
But no, I wasn't a drinker, so she trusted me with that. So if I had booze on my breath, she didn't give a fuck. She knew I only had one beer. And then she'd tell me, put the toilet next to your fucking bed because you're going to puke. Because she knew I was an alcohol puker.
Oh, damn.
That was the giveaway. I always got sick.
And you were 15 when your mom passed?
Yeah, 16. So
and
it was like 2 years before that I drank. One night I went to that kid who was here. I told you, the Villo, and they were drinking out of the garbage can. And I fucking woke up in a lawn a block and a half from his house. And I got woken up by a cop that we used to play basketball with that was a great man, but he wore colored socks. In the 70s, that was a no-no in our neighborhood. If you had sneakers on like these idiots today that you see with sandals on and colored socks, that's a beating in North Bergen. That was a
How severe of a beating?
Just a couple smacks to the face and go home and put the right socks on. Because even the high school threw you out. Because in those days, they said if you cut your foot, the ink from the sock would leak into the cut and you'd die.
Right.
So the fucking school even had a rule. No colored fucking socks. So like Spanish kids didn't want to do gym, so they wear like the Puerto Rican socks, like the Guinea socks with the fucking strings and shit. No gym. You get an F for the day. Hey, you weren't allowed to wear those shit. Now people wear black socks up to here with flip-flops. 20 years ago, they call you in an alley. Come here, man. I want to give you something.
I just want to make sure it's white socks.
White socks, always. So
Okay.
he used to, whenever he wore black socks, we would foul him. That was our thing. Whenever he wore the black socks, I know, because they're young. They don't fucking know the rules.
I've always worn black socks.
Yeah, I know.
Black,
'Cause you're a
gray.
fuck-
Well, the white ones get all stained.
Yeah, I know.
Always
think
worn black.
I got a pus stain by my fungi toenail.
You got a
don't
pus
see me
stain
with-
on your
no,
toe?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I don't think it is a joke.
It's a joke. But anyway, whenever we'd play and he'd wear the black socks, we'd foul him heavy duty. Under the basket, we'd all jump on him and karate chop and shit. So he got the hint. He started wearing white socks. But he picked me up. He woke me up at 6 a.m. on Richie Sensulo's lawn.
And said what?
You're fucking drunk, Coco. You have to go home. And he put me in the cop car and he knocked on my door. And my mother answered the fucking door and she, what happened? I picked him up on the lawn. And my mother smelled the alcohol and the whole fucking deal. So
Are you gonna be? Because like I grew up in a very strict house. Like none of that was cool. And then, like, I mean, you are who you are. Like, what if she came home smelling like something?
if I came home smelling,
No, what if she came home? Like, how strict are you gonna be? Are you gonna like? Is she allowed to drink? I mean, what do you? Now she's way too young, I would imagine. But
let me explain something to you. The children that are out today, at least in my neighborhood, and when I talk to parents, these kids don't do much. They're not looking at it like we did. It's not. Kids today aren't growing up with drugs around. Like kids, and like in my town, a lot of parents smoke pot. Don't smoke; they take gummies.
right.
That's in the 70s. It was mother's little helper. You know what I'm saying? So that drinking shit isn't like here. Remember, I grew up in a place where right across that fucking bridge, I get whatever I want at whatever fucking time I want. That's a very ugly concept to have in your mind when you're right here and you're 10 minutes away from the most outrageous city in the world at that time.
I know.
From peep shows to alcohol to drugs on the street to the village, you had this Central Park, McSorley's Ale House, Washington Square Park. You had this whole thing where it was drug kind of ridden in those days, you know? And I'm not saying there's no drugs in New York City. There's tons of fucking drugs. But it's not in your face no more. Like the kids are not.
I've heard that drinking's down for sure.
Drinking's down. Drinking's down. I guarantee vaping and smoking pot's got to be up at that age. I don't know. I'm not a fucking whatever, but
there's always going to be, like, people are going to find it. But yeah, I think you're right that probably stuff is on the way down. But everyone experiments.
listen, she's getting exposed to it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. The best thing I'm doing right now, she's never seen me smoke, but she smells it. When you're exposed to it and you see the effects, like if she goes to school and they're like, you know, marijuana causes narcolepsy and it causes this and it causes that and it'll make you, she's sitting in the back going, my fucking dad smokes every fucking day.
Right.
And he's tip-top magoo. He's functioning. He has a job. He does this. He goes to the gym. He talks to my mom. He goes to dates with my mom. I mean, what the fuck? So it was the same for me when I was growing up. And it was even worse in the 70s, the propaganda.
Right.
The anti-smoke. I had a godfather who picked me up every Saturday on his own merit and take me to Times Square and take me to a movie, and he'd take me to Tad's Steakhouse, and he'd take me to see, like, girls dance, you know, like, even at a young age. You go, come on, you like girls, right? And I go, I don't know. Yeah, you like girls. But he always smoked. And all that happened to him was he'd giggle, and his eyes would get red. And then he'd go to work on Monday through Friday and pick me up on Saturdays. So for years, you hear this rhetoric of what marijuana does to you. And I look at him and I go, I don't know what they're talking about. This guy didn't have long hair. He didn't play rock music. You know.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, I think there has to be a limit somewhere. Like, you wouldn't want her smoking now, I don't think.
Fuck no. I don't ever want to smoke. I don't ever want her to do the things that I did. That's what you want for your child. Listen, in 6 years, she might be somewhere. She might start smoking when she's 16 or 17. But I doubt it. Because she's really into athletic shit.
Right.
And she was telling me one time, she goes, maybe you don't breathe good because all those years you're smoking that. You know, they listen to that shit. It's a different child today. So you pray for the best.
Right.
You don't want them to get hurt and for them to get pain medication and then shoot the gap for heroin or something like that. These are things you want to avoid, but you see them. You see them as a parent. You see them as a human being. So all I want to do is, listen, I have to accept whatever happens. But I also have to monitor what goes on in my house. I came from a house where alcohol was king. I don't drink. Don't fucking tell me. I came from a house where there was a weapon in the house all the fucking time. I knew how to clean a gun when I was a kid. You don't see me carrying a weapon. I never shot up to school. I don't have a violent past like that. So do you understand? Like, this is what's made me think about when you put it in front of kids. You know, if I have a fucking gun and you have to climb up and get on stairs and then open up a safe, maybe that intrigues the mind. I know it would intrigue me. If I get home at 3 and my father don't get home till 5, I'm going to try to get that fucking safe.
Right, of course.
And I know George has done it. We've all done it. We get intrigued and we look through our parents' shit and all that stuff. But when they know you have it, like, it's a big difference. I don't think I like alcohol because I was exposed to it at such an early age, at such a high fucking volume, that I was like, I don't ever want to end like that.
Right.
When I was 14, I would see my mother yell up for me at 8, and she would be making me breakfast or whatever, and at the same time, she'd be pouring a fucking Heineken in tomato juice.
Aye.
If she ate, she would do tomato juice. If she didn't eat, she'd do V8. You're a fucking alcoholic. I don't ever want to wake up at 8 in the morning and have to pour a fucking Heineken in tomato juice. And fine, she was a functioning addict.
Right.
She was out of the house 35 minutes later in the city, fucking buying records for the album, for the bar, ordering meat, whatever the fuck. But that's not the point. I grew up with that. Not that she was sloppy either. There was no slop. But I grew up with that. I don't want that in my house. There's no parties in my house. You come over to eat if you want. You come over to eat. I'm never going to say to you, let's get a keg of beer. I got a kid in the fucking house.
Right.
I got a kid in the house. I don't want my kid to wake up and see 3 people on the couch, cigarettes, fucking beer bottles. First of all, I don't like fucking beer bottles in my living room because somebody's going to spill it, and that shit smells like dick for 2 months. You ever go into a bar and you're like, this bar smells like alcohol and mildew?
Yeah.
I don't ever want that smell. I can't live with that. I'll burn that fucking house down. So I don't want her to be exposed to that party life where people, you know, she's going to eventually do it, but she knows it's there. We have neighbors who drink and they act fucking responsibly. So these are the things, like.
Well, it's interesting because, like, and it's nothing against my parents. I'm probably, if I'm ever a parent, will be stricter. But I've seen, like, when I went to Israel for the first time, drinking was 18, not 21. And having a beer was not as big of a deal. And, yeah, there were drunk kids, but it wasn't as, I don't know, it felt, like, scarier and, like, more intense here. Because you have to lie, you have to somehow get it. I think if I was going to do it, I would lean somewhere in the middle of, like, exposing them to it, maybe not being as okay with it as, like, I don't think I'd ever be the parent who'd be like, oh yeah, you can come here and drink.
All right, we
here.
got YouTube, Lee. You're gonna have a fucking kid, and when they're 7, they're gonna go on YouTube.
Oh, I know.
And they're gonna accidentally find you. So here's the deal: everybody has to react differently to the times, Lee. We're not living in the 70s no more, where we were blind. I wasn't, because I had crazy fucking parents, but everybody was blind. We didn't have the internet, Lee. Okay? There's a song by the guy who beat up the fucking other guy who was married to Carmen Electra. That idiot was married to Carmen Electra. He was in a band, Jane's Addiction. Jane's Addiction has an album, whatever. The second album is great. But the first album, it says it before the song, it's Caught Stealing. In Spanish, we have more influence with your children than you do. Okay? We have more influence with your children than you do.
The musicians?
Yeah. We have more access to your kids than you do. When I went to school, you went from 9 to 3. and you probably got home at like 4, you went to practice, your parents saw you from 5 to 10. That's 5 hours a day. You were at school 6, 7 hours a day.
And now the internet, you're with it 24 hours.
Now you got the internet. So even if I turn the internet off in my house, she's got a classmate that's going to tell her what was on that internet. Look at my fucking Instagram. So they're exposed to everything right now.
Oh,
It's a
1,000%.
different fucking world. So every day when she gets up, she's going to stroll and see it, fucko smoking pot. Snoop Dogg.
Right.
'Cause
Oh,
he's allowed to smoke pot on Instagram. She's not going to have those questions like other kids. When I take her to the dojo and she sees you guys drinking and sees people drinking, she's watching.
right.
She's watching because on the way home, she'll tell me. I introduced her to somebody 5 years ago when she was 7. And we were talking about him one night. And she looked at me and she goes, I know who you're talking about. He's the brother who smokes. And I almost lost my mind. She likes that brother out of all of them. She likes Joe Florentine the best because he's a dad. And he's got girls, so he knows how to speak to Mercy. They talk about the Rolling Stones and Mick Jagger. But she said it to me. She goes, and you should ask him to stop smoking, Dad. Like, how am I going to tell a grown man to stop smoking?
And it's amazing what sticks with kids.
So she's watching. She's listening. Because of her mother and me, she can't drink. I'm allergic and the mother's Indian. She goes off the fucking rails. When my wife has 3 drinks in her, that's not good. Her eye starts lurking. Fucking feathers start coming out of her head. She gets argumentative with you. That's why I don't drink with my wife.
Because it's only 3 drinks?
I don't drink with my wife. Never will. No way. And that's why I'll tell them. When I take my wife on a date, I go, I'm the designated driver. Go. And I'll fucking order her drinks until she gets lit. Then she has to catch herself and shit. Once she catches herself and she remembers she's a mom, then she'll stop. But I could still tell the rest of the night that she's up to something. Like I could tell, I could tell that she drank. Her eyes, she's Indian. So her eyes get,
They're up to something.
her eyes are blue and they get dilated so fucking much that that's how I could tell she's drinking. She don't ever drink, but she can't because she's fucking Indian. She gets sick. She starts boo-booing, rain dancing, the whole fucking deal. Let's take an interruption here for 5 minutes. Uncle Joey got a potty, and we got to talk to you about some special things, all right? We'll be back, Jack. What's happening, beautiful people? Uncle Joey here. Listen, your gut has a massive impact on how you feel each and every day. Bioma keeps things in tip-top shape so you can feel your best no matter what life throws your way. Bioma's blend of prebiotics plus probiotics plus postbiotics helps restore healthy microbiomes. Now you're going to want to give Bioma a try and get things sorted down there. Listen, I went on it about 4 weeks ago. I feel tip-top magoo, all right? I go to the bathroom. I don't feel sluggish anymore. So if your gut is full of the wrong bacteria, get Bioma and get it together, Jack. Listen, it's not just about a smooth, regular digestion. Your gut can mess with your hormone levels, energy, weight management, and even lifespan. Take 15% off your Bioma order to get started. Just click the link in our show notes and press in code Joey, Joey. That's code Joey, Joey, for 15% off your order when you click the link in our show notes. I want to thank Bioma for sponsoring us. They got a great product. We're back, beautiful people. What's up, dog?
It was a great week, dude. I had a
Oh, that's right. You headlined last week. It was your first headline night.
at the dojo, yeah. And it was crazy. Like I was thinking about the first time I did it. I featured for another comic named Andre Kim, and it was like a couple years ago. It was before you did any shows there, and it was just cool to like be on the other side because like at certain points, like we talked about it, I think last week. I wish I was further along than I was, but to do that, and we had a great turnout. Like it was honestly it was for me pretty full, so I was very happy about that. Everyone who did spots did great. It was a long show. They were a great audience. The club was happy, so it was a very just amazing night. I don't know. It was
I know. I've been there, dog.
yeah.
I know what those nights are special, and how you go home all tingly and shit, and then the next day you're at an open mic following a guy with a tuba.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking great. Your life is fucking great, But I saw the pictures, and I was very happy for you. Like I said, I didn't want to go because it was your night, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like people go, "Oh, you're gonna come to my show?" Not really, because as soon as I walk into your show, somebody's gonna come up to me and ask me for a fucking picture, whether
Right.
you're on stage or not. People have no clue. So that takes the attention. People are sitting there all night. All right, Lee's here. Is he going to go upstage? Is this guy going to go on stage? I learned something this weekend about comedy. Well, I learn something all the time. And it's funny. Whenever I have a big gig now on the drive home, whether it's a big gig or a small gig, I should say it. I always think about what made me get on that stage the first fucking time. Like, what fucking possessed me to get the balls and the audacity to think that I was funny enough to get on a stage? Like, that's been the question in my head for the last 7 or 8 months. Like, at 62 years old, what the fuck did I do that I got to find? Like, I never did anything right. Never did anything right, guys. Never. All my decisions were shit because they were drug-induced. This was from somewhere completely different. And I really practiced it when I was in prison, of all fucking places. Like, that's when I said I wasn't even practicing, guys. I was just going up there and goofing. They call it goofing, whatever, when you just go up there. They would just go up there and talk to them. I would get on top of the table. There was no stage,
Hmm.
And then in there, people were like, this is what you should be doing. I'm like, these guys are all losers. They're in a fucking federal penitentiary telling me my next career option. Are they it's like, and I always think of that. And that's what you should think about. What really possessed me? And you're going to hit me. Everybody's like, well, I saw a Richard Pryor tape. No. What made you get in that fucking car that night? Go in there because it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. The first time, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's what I was trying to say in the beginning of the podcast is that you have so many critics right now, but nobody really knows the journey. Everybody's criticizing this person, this comedy scene, this guy's anti-woke, this guy's R-rated, this guy's punching down, this guy's punching up, but nobody really knows the journey, and that's what pisses me off. I didn't want to talk about this, but I do have to add leverage to this because he's getting beat up right now in the press, and I thought about it. And it's my friend Theo Vaughn. I was there Saturday night, Lee, and I told him I was going to call you for the second show, and he goes, yeah, I want to see Lee. I heard he got engaged. So, I spoke to him Thursday, and he said that if I wanted to come to the show on Saturday, now, my weekends are fucking tough, guys. I got no time for fucking comedy. I don't have time for myself to do comedy on Fridays. So I have a family, and whatever their decision is first is what I have to do. Because for 7 years, my decisions were first. I'm going here. I'm going there. And here's my wife and my daughter are stuck. At least now I give everybody the opportunity. If they want to hang, they can hang. When my daughter said she was going to Great Adventure on Saturday, I go, that's one down. What does my wife want to do? Does she want to go out to dinner? She's like, no, I'm not going to be able to eat. I got no teeth and I can't drink because of the pain pills. I'm going around the corner to my girlfriend's house, one of the neighbors, and I'll come back later. That's what made me go over there. Now, I don't know if people understand the process of stand-up comedy. Again, number one, you don't pull up to an open mic in a Maserati. That's number one. And number two, it's not the world of glamour. And then for 6 or 7 years, we bang it out in places that you wouldn't take your fucking mother to. I mean, granted, the dojo is nice, but you've been in some holes late night that are fucking shitholes. I saw one the other night when I was in the city. I was just walking up the corner to meet the car, and I'm like, this is the comedy club I hear about? This is a fucking dump. I wouldn't come here. But that's where you perform at first. And all of a sudden, somebody takes you on the road, you end up somewhere, and you're in front of 3,500 people in the theater. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then you get into a bigger theater, and now you're back on your own doing comedy. What I'm trying to say is there's no cameras around. There's no cameras around. When you add camera to stand up, it's a different animal. And some people could rise to the occasion, and some people can't, like myself. But I'm honest enough to say that. I don't like a camera. Because to me, I still see a brick wall, a microphone, and 200 people. And smoke. I don't see what everybody else sees. Everybody, oh my God, this theater. I don't give a fuck. It's 4 fucking walls and a fucking exit, and you could get shot in here like the people at Batman. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not impressed. You want to impress me, motherfucker? Take the wheel, okay? So that's where I'm coming from. But people don't know the journey. And now we have a different thing in comedy, and that's called corporate world. So before you read the stuff about Theo Von and what happened, that he bombed, I want you to think of corporate world when you're an edgy comic and how they'll tell you along the way, yes, 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 until you get closer to the date, and then they change the game plan on you. And now you feel a little weird. And I'm not saying this happened to Theo. Listen, people have bad nights in comedy all the fucking time. I'm the king of them. I'm not ashamed to say it, but at least I'll tell you. Don't blow smoke up my, that's the greatest. Don't make me fucking poke you in the eye. Because you need glasses. I was on that stage. I think the corporate, I know I couldn't handle it. I mean, you were there with me for the Degenerates. Was that normal to you? Was that fucking normal to you? Hold on. I've been writing for 8 months. Writing for 8 months to get this material out of my head, and you're telling me that camera 1 isn't working. The fuck? Stand over here so this camera could get you as you're going, bitch, I just want to get on stage and say, oh, hold on 1 second. Microphone 3 went down. I want you to polish those emotions for a second. What's something that you love to do? Maybe have sex. And all of a sudden somebody stops and says, did I ever tell you the story about my brother got hit with a car? Well, you know, you might as well, I might as well put my dick away because this ain't going to even work after this fucking story. That's what that is. You know, we're living in a world now. You think these podcasts, I could come on here and say what I want to say anymore? You guys ever wake up in the morning and this podcast is 28 or over?
Oh, yeah.
We're living in a corporate world, and some people could work well in it, and some people can't, and most people can't, especially comics. They don't know what they're going to say. They don't know what comes out of their mouths. When we're up there and we're dying and you got a gun to my head, I can either do good or fucking do bad. You know, when we went to Florida, that was a tough night for you. That's 8,000 eyes, and you fucking came through. But I want you to think about that. You went up on stage in front of 8,000 eyes. If I would have told you that before you went on stage, that's like calling you Lee SWAT. You know what I'm saying? Like,
some people do that, though.
Eyes.
People will come up to you right before a show like that, but like a lot of people, huh? People do that.
They want to shit in your pants in your leg. I don't want to run with people who shit on your, piss on your leg. There's a time to piss on people's legs. There's a time not to piss on people's legs.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't want to know what's out there either.
No.
I don't need to know. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I sell out or not. I'm there to do comedy. That's where we all get it wrong. You're there to fucking be funny for an hour. So the more shit you eliminate, you said something to me before that you eliminate stuff. I said, we were talking about a subject, and you said that was smart of you, that you've eliminated that. It's like when I got into comedy, I knew I wasn't going to be on Letterman or The Tonight Show. Out! Out! I'm not going to work that clean. But Joey, listen, by the time I get to go where I'm going, there'll be a different platform. That's exactly what happened.
Right.
Some people do good. I can't fucking do something. I know for the Riyadh Comedy Festival, bro, it's a country that fucking, if you don't wear a barker, they throw you in jail for 15 fucking years. Right? If you don't put that thing around your face, right? If they catch you doing something, it's a fucking nightmare. So you think they're going to let me go over there and talk about, oh, we'll probably be happy if I do my gay bits. Because they hate gay people, right? If you're gay, they kill you over there. I mean, they don't even play.
Right.
You can't show up with a pelican on your shirt. Like, you know, they'll just stab you. That shit is done. They don't even tolerate, oh, it's amazing. Boom, bam, they'll stab you. You got to keep your language certain. That was very beautiful. Thank you. I enjoyed your meal dearly. That shit, it's amazing. Boom, they'll stab you right on sight. They don't even want that starting, that spreading. So What do you think they're going to say to me on stage? What can I really talk about? You can't talk about religion. Can't talk about a lot of things. You know what? If I take the money, I'm going to do bad. If I take that money, Lee might do a lot better. But for me, I'm going to take that money and just go there knowing I'm going to bomb. I'm in Hudson County. I didn't show up anywhere to lose. Even if I lost, I didn't show up to lose. You have to, when you get into situations, you have to make your life easier. Right now, I wouldn't have known what to do if I was Theo on Saturday night. There was 4 people talking to him at one time. Telling him what, and with shit that doesn't matter. When you're shooting something, you want to give somebody as much content as you want, as I can, because you could always cut it out. I can't add it. I can't be in the green room going, fuck. I wish I would have had a cut from the side. Look how beautiful that stage is. Look at the lighting. I should have fucking taped myself in the back smoking a joint with Lee before I go up there and Lee kicks me in the ass as I'm going up. But you learn. I'd rather do it because I can always take it out.
Right, absolutely.
But I can't hunt it down. What am I going to rent the theater, put extras and kick you on the... No. So let's shoot it. So I understand that. But we do that maybe later. We do that in between shows.
Go early for it.
Let's get that one in the tank.
Yeah.
When I'm shooting a special, the first one is the one you're going for. And if you bomb, fuck it. I got late show. And you saw it. I bombed. I bombed them, both of them. But the first show when I taped the special, bombed.
Are you talking about Netflix?
No, the one I did in Chicago with
Oh,
you.
in Chicago.
First one I did bombed. The first little thing I laid down, there was a guy, I was agitated. Then they told me how to darken my hair, that the camera, they spray painted my fucking bald spot. I need this shit. I just want to crack a few fucking jokes.
Would you, I think you've talked about it, like, would you just like to just be filmed without like your knowledge and that be put up?
I'd rather that happen if I did stand up. But again, if you're going to show up on an iPhone 14, and the only reason I know it's 17 because my phone fell out the other day and some guy's like, look, that's an old iPhone. I go, I buy a new one when they fucking break. But I'm going to go down there like the rest of the masses. But I heard the camera's badass.
Yeah.
It jumps up and down. Yeah, so, when I'm ready to drop 1,800 now.
Is it really? Holy shit.
And they don't even let you pay it. They make you finance it, right?
No, you can pay it.
Yeah, they want the monthly. That's a lot of dough for. I don't even give a fuck anymore. I don't have Facebook on there. I don't have Twitter either. I got Instagram. That's it. Text messages and people call. There's nothing else I use on here. Nothing. All these apps. I don't know nothing. I got Uber once in a while. I got Lexus. I got fucking Whoop.
They have flip phones.
They have what?
They have flip phones with apps now.
Well, this is the shit. You got to eliminate all this shit. This is garbage. But you do need it. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? You do need it. If again,
$1,800.
$1,800 to talk to people before you even get the party started.
Dude, fuck that. That's too much.
Dog, that's the world we live in. And everybody goes down there and pays them. It's like a superhero movie. The more you go, the more these phones are going to keep making.
I paid $1,200 a year ago, and I thought that.
Bro, when they told me when I got this one and T-Mobile, because no Sprint no more.
Right.
Because I show up to Sprint, like, we don't even know what you're talking about. We handle fucking bicycles now, I don't even know what you're talking about. No, you got to go to T-Mobile. I went to T-Mobile, very nice, but again, they're like, you got to do this, and this one's already starting to fuck up. Like it charges really fast. Like the other night, my phone died, and I didn't give a fuck about nobody calling me. I was in the city. All I wanted was to find out what was going on with my daughter, Great Adventure. Because I had a bad feeling that night that one of those horror buildings would fall down or something like that. And I got to go down there and search through the rubble. So I fucking, you know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine you searching through the rubble.
Oh my God. And I got in the car. It was just me and this guy, Bob, one of the best limo drivers I've ever had in my fucking life. He was great because he told me first he was from South Broomfield. No, the other town I live close to. Not Broomfield, fucking Brunswick. I just kept calling him South Brunswick. On the way, I'm like, listen, on the way back, we're gonna go to fucking the strip club right there, just me and you. He's like, that's okay. He goes, I'm 20 minutes from here. I'm like, all right. He was cool as shit.
That's awesome.
He stopped at Starbucks for me. He stopped at the ATM. He goes, let's stop at the ATM. You need cash? No, let's do it. Boom. Got cash. We shot into the fucking city. He was right there. And then my phone died. He's like, I'll go get you a cord. I'm like, you're a bad motherfucker. If I didn't have teeth missing, I'd suck your dick. You know what I'm saying? How do you know, cocksucker? You got some old hag one night, you little dirty bastard. 2:30 in the morning, you're looking around the bar. There's a lady winking at you with a missing tooth. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You go over there, put a piece of cotton in it. But it's just, I saw that special taping of.
Yeah, this started as a message to Theo.
So what?
I said this started about a message about Theo.
About Theo.
Yeah, and ended with sucking someone's dick.
That, it was just, I was there, and it wasn't what you people are reading at all. I mean, I'm worried about him like everybody else is, but at the same time, I know this motherfucker. He's from the bayou of Louisiana. He ain't going nowhere. It's just, stand-up is tough, guys. I've been telling you this shit for years. People gave me shit for 3 years, and I told people, the commitment level for stand-up is something like, I've never seen anything like this. I'm on my 34th year, and if I could go out 3 or 4 nights a week, I would. It's just the driving that kills me. My back would die. It's not just going to the comedy store anymore, downhill. You know what I'm saying? It was 13 minutes for me to get to the comedy store.
Right.
It's an hour before I get the party started. But it's calling me back now little by little, and I feel better about it because I got all that corporate shit out of my world. I'm not in LA no more. I don't have to appease anybody. I do what the fuck I want to do. Even the sponsors on here, YouTube, whatever. I'm in an age where I already went to prison. My family left the country that was fucking communist. So you want me to obey your fucking stupid rules of no cursing or whatever? Write me off. I'll find the channel that lets us do whatever the fuck we want to. But this new world order, you take a bigger paycheck so people could tell me what to do. The reason why we got into comedy is not to have a job. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about that? We got into comedy so we didn't have to get up like 15 billion other people in the world 8 in the morning and go to a job because somewhere in our demented fucking minds, we thought we could do better. So think about that shit. This is rough, but it's rougher when somebody's watching you. There's some comics that are born to work clean, and I respect that. Nate Bargatze is fucking great. He's great at what he does. Jerry Seinfeld was great at what he does. But there's other guys like myself and other comedians, they go off the fucking rails. And you know what? That's fine fucking too. Because at the end of the day, every single comedian you watch is a little fucking crazy. You just don't see it because you're so, oh my God, they're so great. No, we're not great. We're crazy, demented fucking people. So, and that's me included. I don't want you to think like, that's me included. Somewhere along the line, we said, you know what? I'm going to go to college for 4 years. I come from a nice family. Nobody ran away in my family. I'm Jewish. Now I'm an editor, and now I'm a podcaster. But you know what? I'm taking my college degree, and I'm not picking on you. I'm just telling you what I know.
Right.
I'm taking my college degree and wiping my balls with it. I'm going to go right back into the pit with a bunch of animals every night and people with mental illness and try to get a fucking career. So what does that tell you about the stand-up comics? So before you start pointing at stand-up comics and saying that they give out misinformation, you guys took the stand-up comic too seriously. Everybody is taking everything too seriously.
And I will say, like, Theo was one of the few of your friends. He called me when I was right after we left LA. He called me one day. We just chatted. It was always super sweet to me.
Oh,
and I haven't on everything. I have no idea how he did that night. I've never asked you. It doesn't matter. If you have a bad night, why is that national news? And for anything, imagine
you believe that it was on the front cover of Yahoo. We need to know everything. This is why, again, today, You know, like again, I'm not putting anybody down. I go on these sites some days and I read one thing and I close it. People always give me shit. You don't post anymore because there's some days I do go on there and I got something great to say that I was laughing in the shower. Like I have something, like I'm coming in there with balls on fire. I'm in the shower holding on to my stomach. But I will go downstairs, open up a page and see something that is so far out there. I go, not today. Because I can't solve this. I can't save this. This is what I can't save. All I can say is something funny. And hopefully you react to it. It makes your day. You wake up, you're like, fucking that motherfucker's dirty, man. You know, something to get a reaction of you instead of, I want the fucking Epstein list. Anything but that. But this is what's going on. We've become so uptight that bombing at your Netflix special in front of 3,000 people, not even an arena, not even Madison Square Garden, in front of 3,000 people really matters. And when I say shit, you people think like I'm fucking crazy. I'm not. This is a rough world we live in today. So I get it, motherfuckers. We got to laugh more. We got to fuck more. We got to start drinking again because this motherfucker could end any goddamn day. Hug your loved ones every day. Look at it. Every day you hear something stupid. Kim Jong-un fired a missile into the ocean. The Russian dude, you know. They bombed. What do you think? What do you think about when Israel bombed that country with the bunkers and all that shit? You think they're sitting there rebuilding right now? They got pictures of Americans all over those walls, and Jews and Puerto Ricans and Arabs with beards. They got revenge, and you're walking around thinking it's fun. That's why I was nervous about Great Adventure. Because, dog, they're coming. This is not ending good. I don't mean to scare you motherfuckers, but it's a reality. It's a fucking reality. So next time you go to your Jason Aldean country music concert and you're jumping up and down thinking we're in good hands, Remember what happened in Vegas? They were jumping up and down too. And they got shot from the fucking window. It's a weird fucking world out there. I love you motherfuckers. Have a great, I don't even know if the guy's Jason Aldean. I don't even know who that is. I thought he was a country singer. I'm just saying, it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. This is why I hug everybody every goddamn day. Any day now, we're getting hit with a missile. Especially you motherfuckers that live in New York City, walking around, jumping up and down. Lee with the Jew hat. Lee's gonna have to get a disguise after November. If that Mondani wins, he's done. Lee, him and his girlfriend will be wailing out of New York City because they're gonna come to your apartment and beat you up, and then kick you out, and you're gonna be socialist. Mondami. It's gonna be little Cuba and shit. And right now, even Black Lives Matter, Eric Griffin, whatever his fucking name, Eric Adams dropped out.
Those are two very different people.
Who?
Eric Griffin and...
Well, it's a mistake. You know who Eric Adams is? He's your fucking mayor in New York City.
Yeah, but my life isn't affected. Why do you think the mayor's going to make that much of a difference?
Will somebody please tell this idiot what's going on in New York? Because this other guy's a socialist.
I know that.
He wants to start bodegas. He hates Jews, okay? That's number one.
He hates Jews?
Well, you have to assume. I mean, right now at this point, everybody hates the Jews, Lee. If the mess right now, everybody they blame everything on the fucking Jews. That's not everything. Somebody lit a firecracker in New Jersey. That's a Jew. You know, it's been bad for the Jews. It's a bad couple of years. We get it, but yeah, it's been a bad couple of years. You're getting bad
really has. Thank you for noticing.
What?
Thank you for noticing it.
You know I love you. I got nothing against you. No love against you. But I mean, you know, it's true. So I don't know what's going to happen in the world. But the most important thing is to crack a joke. Who gives a fuck if a comedian bombs? With what's really going on in the world, you give a fuck about a comedian bombing on his Netflix special like it's going to change your goddamn life? Not at all. So, where are you going to be this week, Tarzan?
I'm going to be at the Dojo on Wednesday night.
All right.
And I'm going to be at Sheba's on Thursday night this week.
All right. I'm not going to be nowhere till I come back. I'm October 8th, but that's already sold out. That's chicken stuff. We got to give them the truth. 15th at the Dojo Comedy. And the 23rd is the Bucket of Love at the Dojo Comedy. And then November 8th is a biggie. DC, what's the name of it? MGM Grand. What is it? MGM Grand in Oxon Hill. 20 minutes from the fucking White House. I'll have my fucking bulletproof John Wick outfit on down there because a missile might come fucking flying through. So 20 minutes we're going to be performing. That also pisses me off.
Why?
When they told me, I thought I was doing comedy like, an hour from the nation's capital. We need that much money that we need to gamble in Washington, D.C.? And here, I'm not political, but I'm just asking you a question. 20 minutes from the White House. Maryland needs that much money that they got gambling. 20 minutes. Is nothing sacred? And that means I get a hooker 20 minutes from the White House. When does it fucking end? Nah, forget about that. November 8th. That's all they need to know. Focus one at a time, cocksuckers. We love you. Have a great week. Lee, send them some love.
Love you guys.
Love you. Stay black, all right? Have a great week. And we'll be back next Tuesday, the 8th. What's happening, beautiful people? Uncle Joey here. Listen, your gut has a massive impact on how you feel each and every day. Bioma keeps things in tip-top shape so you can feel your best no matter what life throws your way. Bioma's blend of prebiotics plus probiotics plus postbiotics helps restore healthy microbiomes. Now you're going to want to give Bioma a try and get things sorted down there. Listen, I went on it about 4 weeks ago. I feel tip-top magoo, all right? I go to the bathroom. I don't feel sluggish anymore. So if your gut is full of the wrong bacteria, get Bioma and get it together, Jack. Listen, it's not just about a smooth, regular digestion. Your gut can mess with your hormone levels, energy, weight management, and even lifespan. Take 15% off your Bioma order to get started. Just click the link in our show notes and press in code Joey, Joey. That's code Joey, Joey, for 15% off your order when you click the link in our show notes. I want to thank Bioma for sponsoring us. They got a great product.